Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the closing argument. Today is what we consider here in the United States Humps Day. It's the middle of the week, right over the hump. If you have completed today's day, congratulations. You have gone over the hump. You got 2 more days, actually 1 more day, and we'll be talking about TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. So we have some great things going on in the country, some tragedy, some great news, sad news. On the top of that list is the passing of the former First Lady of Liberia, Her Excellency Nancy Doe. She passed, as I understand today, from a long and protracted illness. On behalf of the closing argument and its management and the audience, we want to extend our condolences to the Doe family, Samuel K. Doe Jr., the girls, and the entire Doe family, wherever they are around the world. It is a great loss. A mother to the country at one time, a lady who struggled with the system, a lady who was frustrated with the administrations of several presidents, lawsuits upon lawsuits, many of which she have won, and up to today's date, if my memory serves me right, none of the presidents have done good by this lady. Not Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, not Josh Weir, and definitely not Joseph Yuma Boakai. As the nation goes into mourning, I am certain she's going to be bestowed all the rights according to a person of her stature in our nation. As the news comes forward, as more information comes forward, we will forward it to you. To our family, brothers and sisters in Grand Jide, we say our condolences. The nation mourns with you. This station mourns with you. The management mourns with you. A loss to Grand Jide is a loss to all 15 counties in the Republic. The First Lady, former First Lady Nancy Doe, has passed. Our condolences to the family. We're going to be talking about President Joseph Yuma Boakai presented two brand new pickup trucks to the HIV response team in Liberia to help enhance the fight against HIV. With the drop in funding from abroad, this organization can use all the help it can get. Kudos to President Joseph Boakai for lending a helping hand. Some would say we shouldn't be thanking the president for doing what he's supposed to do anyway. And I agree, he needs to do more, especially for the more vulnerable among us. 2 pickup trucks is not enough. I would have loved to see a figure, whether the budget for this particular agency has been increased. Yesterday, you heard about a health team, that our health system is on the brink of collapse. Health workers so poor they can hardly get food to eat while they are on duty. And many have to walk miles, especially in the rural areas, to get to work. Some are homeless. They got nowhere to stay. Those who are renting rooms are postponing, begging the landlords to give them more months to pay their rent. Some are making $100 a month before taxes. And the top of that line, $150 before taxes. So when we are talking about those on the front line, like those that work with the department or the HIV response team, 2 pickup trucks for the HIV response team in all 15 counties. It's a shame. We got people who are afflicted in every county, I want to believe. So what can 2 pickup trucks do? But anyway, we are grateful for 2 pickup trucks for our brothers and sisters that have been afflicted with HIV in the Republic of Liberia. The corruption in the system continues. We're talking about civil servants being paid or not being paid. And those of us who usually look at the numbers, we will tell you that absence the pay or decent pay, people are bound to make mistakes. People are bound to be corrupted, even against their own will. This brings me to this topic. 2 prison officials or officers, in collaboration with a convicted felon, a guy who murdered someone, smuggled drugs, narcotics in the Monrovia Central Prison. Is it wickedness or is it desperation? We talked about this yesterday. People are not making livable wages. People are walking miles to get to work and they make $100 before taxes. If you were paying $200 from Singapore to wherever you are going to work, if you were paying $2, that's the equivalent of $2 a day, and you work 28 days or 20 days, if you were spending $2 or even $3 a day, multiply that by 20 days a week that you work, that's 60 days. That's $60 out of the $100 gross. I think Martin Colley and I think it was Mr. Toga Alexander Biede that share an actual pay stub of a civil servant with us. The person take home pay after taxes were $87 a month. If your take home pay is $87 a month, but before you got that $87, you spent $3 a day to go to work and back. You multiply that by 20 days, 5 days a week, 20 days. 3 times 20, that's $60 you're spending on transportation just to get to work. and you subtract the $60 from the $87 that you are working. You are a government worker. You subtract $60 from your $87. So you are working for the Republic of Liberia, and your take-home pay is $27. It is other than $27. You have to pay your rent. You got to buy food, and you got to send your children to school if you have children. And government officials are on TV. People are making $15,000 per benefit a month. Somebody by, I won't call the name, his generator makes $3,600 a month. His generator for fuel. Generator for fuel. $3,600, $3,600. So, Ansu, I understand you are a very good mathematician. Let's look at $100 per month. Let's see how much that person make a year. If they make $100, I know my math is not good, but this one I can do it. $100 a month, you multiply it by 12 months, that's $1,200 a year. That's wickedness. A Liberian government employee is making $1,200 a year. For that employee to make the equivalent of the generator, $3,600, that employee will have to work for 3 years. And so we're breaking it down today. This is how wicked our government have been. And this is not about Joseph Boakai. This is not about George Weah. This is not about Ellen. This is about past administration from ever since to today. That includes George Weah, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and now Joseph Boakai. How in the world can someone who has a family live on $27 a month? And then you got them. You got a particular channel called Cash Reloaded, where all the fat cats, those that are making $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, they sit there and make mockery of the people. And they say, we are only here. You want to hear anything, you got to hear it from the horse's mouth. We are they call themselves the horses. This is what we are talking about. They are the top of the top of the top. They are not reading that report that the Liberian investigated journalist Leonard Dudu and the folks did with the international community, where they said they compare Liberia, Nigeria, Kenya, Malawi, and Liberia was so bad that 97% of our health system is on the brink of collapse. So this brings me back to this prison thing. And so you tell me a nurse that is hungry, and Sue just got into a coma, or Ansu, God forbid, just got a stroke. And you get to the JFK hospital, and the nurse there have not eaten all day. And she's supposed to come and get you drip, or supposed to come and do your vital signs. And her, like we used to say in Liberia, when you're hungry, your eye be tanning, eh? You can't see. So now here are these folks that work in the prison system. Some of them have not been paid for months. So now they are trying to make ends meet. We are not making excuse for criminality or crime, but look at the opportunities here. When crimes are committed, people say, when the force come to investigate, they ask whether this is a crime of opportunity. Did the person have the ability? Did the person have the opportunity? And the answer here is yes. A man who is making $27 a month has to feed his family, has to come to work, has to wear those uniforms. And when you work in the prison system, it's a tough job. A prison system, a prison facility that was built for 250 people, according to the report yesterday, they got 1,554 people in there. No space. And few employees dealing with them. They fight everywhere you turn. They are fighting. And the poor guys are supposed to stop the fight, keep them going, make sure they are fed, you take them outside, you put them to bed on time, you do all of these things while on empty stomach. We are not excusing them, but listen, a prison officer connive with a convicted murder. That's how desperate this person is, or these people are, to bring drugs to sell in the prison to make ends meet. It is not right, but if we want to do right by our people, we have to pay them a livable wage. A livable wage. We have to pay livable wage. And we'll go further. This is for immediate release, May 21st, 2025, from the Department of ANC. The ANC suspend Representative Anthony Williams, Nathaniel Bawe, and Nyenwolo Flomo, along with its National Vice Chair for Finance and Investment, Mr. Fubi Henry, for 6 months. The Secretary of the Alternative National Congress, ANC, wishes to inform the public and all partisans that Representative Anthony Williams, Nathaniel Bawe, and Nyenwolo Flomo, along with Mr. Fubi Henry, National Vice Chair for Finance and Investment, have been officially suspended from the party for a period of 6 months. This decision was reached in accordance with Article 24, Section 5, and Article 26 of the ANC Constitution, which guide the disciplinary action and uphold the standards of accountability within the party. On Tuesday, May 2025, a duly convened meeting of the ANC Executive Committee was held at the party's national headquarters in line with the constitutional procedure. The decision to suspend the lawmakers was made by a 2/3 majority vote of the Executive Committee member present. Representative Williams, Bawe, Flomo failed to honor an official invitation extended to them to appear before the party's investigative panel. The panel was constituted to examine their conduct during the recent impasse in the House of Representatives, during which they acted in clear contravention of the party's stated position and directives. The ANC views the action as a serious violation of party discipline, unity, and democratic values. No individual, regardless of position, is above the party's rules and constitution. The suspension of the 4 parties will take immediate effect and will last until November 20, 2025, during which time Representative Williams, Bawe, and Flomo are barred from participating in all ANC activities, both at the national and local levels. The ANC reaffirmed its commitment to upholding democratic governance, transparency, and accountability within its ranks. Signed, the National Secretariat, Alternative National Congress, under the motto or the slogan, Liberia First. talking about the youth wing of the ANC. We have Mr. Aliu Kiadi. He will be talking about the ANC youth wing. As you know, let me make it clear here. If the ANC want a whole hour on this show, I think Ansu is listening here. The management had told me somebody need to mute. If the ANC wanted a whole hour to propagate their policies, they had to see Ansu in the studio or see management. There's a small fee you have to pay for an entire hour. But if you want to discuss, we will give you time to come and discuss a few things about your party. But if you want an exclusive interview, exclusively for ANC, then you gotta go see Ansu. Ansu is the maker. He will ask you to. There's a rate. We have this scale over there. If you want, you gotta pay your dues, and then you can have your hour to yourself. But our guest, Aliu, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. I think I'm hearing myself.
Check your phone. If your phone is either you put your phone on silent, are you monitoring your phone?
Yeah,
getting feedback.
My phone is on silent.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Aliu Kiadi, and I'm the Secretary General of the Indomitable National Youth Congress of the ANC.
Great. We are still getting a little feedback. But anyhow, welcome, Honorable Victor Namwe. How you doing there, sir?
Hello, Mr. Gamer. It's good to be here. And Mr. Kiadi, Ansu, how are you? Hello as well to our viewers in cyberspace. It's good to be here.
Great. My neck on the Wood South Jersey.
All right. Am I good?
I've been there a long time, but I'm going to be in New Jersey soon. How's Atlantic City?
Well, Atlantic City is here. It's a pretty dreary day here. It's rainy off and on, but it's always good here.
You want to check my output? Are you still hearing the feedback?
Gentlemen, Kiadi, mute.
How is the Gator Nation?
Man, we are doing well. It's 95 degrees here today. It's hot.
Oh,
it's beautiful. Yeah.
We're averaging 56, 57 here.
Oh man. Listen, man, this is the place to be.
I mean, as you can see me here, I'm wearing a little, a little bit of nice fleece, so jacket or so sweater.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just when Caddy said to me, I want him to please clarify for me whether Mr. Anthony Williams is part of the youth league Anthony Gay is part of the ANC.
The youth in Liberia got to be at least 50. so he's qualified.
So I guess Anthony qualifies.
That's correct. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. I expect to see it coming in no time because he doesn't play.
He's coming. Let me welcome Peter White. He's from Minnesota. Peter White will be coming to Minnesota June 21st. I think it is. Hopefully you can join us so we can meet, shake hands, eat some color together, and have a great time. Yumatro Krenga Mensa. I will always put that Krenga there because that name is legendary. So Yumatro, until you put that Krenga in there somewhere, I will hound you everywhere you go. I'm going to follow you. Emmett Hammer, thank you very much from Kansas City. Oh, these are the guys from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's good. We got Siliki Tuare. Thank you very much for tuning in. So as we continue, we will talk to the young man here from the ANC. Aliu, are you okay? Are you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm still here. Okay. Are you getting feedback?
No more feedback from our end.
Okay.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, let me reintroduce the show. This is the closing argument. And today is Wednesday. That's on May 21st, 2025. And I'm your host, Jerome Gaiman. I am actually hosting from the great state of Florida. It's 95 degrees here today. It's very, very beautiful. The beaches are nice. So if you come into the United States, if you don't come to Florida, then you have not come to America yet. But so far, if you talk to Victor Nyenwolo from New Jersey, he will say something different. Welcome to the show. We have a jam-packed show. We got a youth wing of the ANC here. We have the letter, the press release from the ANC itself, suspending everybody, including Phoebe Henry, for being not party discipline. They are not coming back until November. I don't know why, but we'll delve into it. We got a press release just came in. Mr. Aliu, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gayman.
Introduce
Thank you,
yourself.
Mr. Nangbe.
Yeah, introduce
It's a pleasure
yourself.
being here.
Introduce
So-
yourself. We don't know, for those who don't know you.
Okay.
Who are you? Where were you born? Where did you go to school? How you got involved with the ANC, and what position you hold with the ANC?
So again, my name is Aliyu Kiadi, and I'm the Secretary General of the Indomitable National Youth Congress of the ANC. And then I graduated from Torgbean High.
Uh-oh. You got
Yeah.
Mr. Victor Nyenwolo. There's not taught me how to graduate here. Go ahead, sir.
So it's the cardinal veteran there.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We're all over the
And I
place.
also
Yeah,
went
you're all over the
to
place.
Stella Maris Polytechnic University. I graduated.
Great.
So I'm in ANC. We started student politics from Torgbean High. I was in the student Jama movement. I went to Stella Maris, became president of the student council, and then we left. Today I'm in the ANC, and I've risen to the position of Secretary General of the Youth Congress. And that is where we are,
Excellent.
trying to see how we can sell the ANC as the future of this country.
Hey,
Excellent.
I feel a certain kinship to you. I'm sorry, Jerome. I just can't help myself. I graduated from the William V. Stoughton High School myself in 1982. I am the founding co-chair of the Student Youth German Brigade. I believe Edward Foley was.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. That year we fielded Abraham Sinayogo and Richard Samuka. But it is good to have you. It is good to be with you here on set. Greetings to all the brothers and sisters back there. But let me pass it on to this moderator. You know he doesn't like his chair to be tampered with.
It's all right. And Mr. Kiadi, you in great hands because my nephew is a graduate of 7 Marie class of 2025, electrical engineer. Abraham Gaiman, great school, great folks. So you're in great hands here. You got a Torgbean High School backing, and you got a grandfather here backing, so that's great. Excellent.
Thank you.
Tell me how you got involved with the ANC.
Well, in 2019, I went to the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinion, that's CEO on Kerry Street. And because of our love of intellectualism, I listened to the ANC youth chairman back then. Though I have been in conversation with other young people in the ANC like Romeo Dennis and George Freeman, but at the time I was listening to Benjamin Myers, and he was the youth chair of the ANC at the time. So we listened and were convinced that the ANC is the future of Liberia, because we have held the view that since post-war Liberia, there have been two parties that have been in charge of the resources of this country, the Unity Party and the CDC. So these two parties are responsible for the material condition of our people, the poverty, ignorance, poor health condition, and everything. These two parties have been in charge of the states since post-war. And there's no excuse whatsoever to shift blames, because there's a sense in which that they have served and some of them are still serving. and things remain the same. So we're moved by the fact that we need a change, not just a change of one leader, but we need a fundamental change of the system. At the time, we have realized that we need a leader who will take Liberia from a beggar nation to a business nation. And that sense saw light in the ANC. And that was our driven force and the passion behind our decision to join the ANC at the time. So that's how we went into the ANC.
My partner here, this guy talking some big stuff. Mr. Namwe,
Yeah.
he says we want to take Liberia from a better nation to a business nation. Your take?
Well, again, Mr. Keddy, I was an advisor to the CPP for the 2023 election cycle. And I have to say, pretty much everything you said here, plus more, those were our aspirations. I still believe that Mr. Cummings presents the best option for this country at this moment. I felt that then. I still feel it now. However, I am just not. I don't understand why he's having so much difficulty gaining traction. Hopefully, as a young brother, you might help us understand this. But I feel that some of the things you described, I think Mr. Cummings is best equipped to bring us out of the mess that we're. Yeah, I am 100% certain. If we're under a Cummings presidency, we wouldn't have this nonsense we had at the Capitol building. I am 100% certain of that. But not only that. I mean, I know Mr. Cummings had pledged to at least rally about $100 million within, I believe, the first year or two of his presidency. Because he was coming in to treat the government as a business, ecotourism, all of these things. So I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about these things. I have left my advisory of the CPP now. I'm working with the CMC because I have been with the UPP for over 40 years. I believe that the vehicle that I need, the vessel that I need to impact our people maximally and quickly, I don't see that being in the ANC as much as I still believe Mr. Cummings could make the most appropriate president at this moment. But I don't see that. I don't see the energy. I don't see the strategies. I don't see the anxiety. I don't see the anger. I don't see the energy. I don't see the drive to get into the executive mansion. I really am disappointed by that. It's unfortunate that this election cycle, even though we had questions about the outcome of this election, I really feel Ellis Cummings was cheated in these elections. I mean, you need to go and read Michael Rubin. He is a State Department advisor. He wrote extensively on how the data was manipulated at the political polling stations. People changing, 1-0 to 10-0 and putting a 1 in front of it, and doing all kinds of things to suppress the vote for Ellis Cummings because they knew he will mount an effective opposition if he went into the second round. All of that happened. We encourage a challenge of the position. A few of the guys joined him. Of course, Madame Bessel is not a foreign minister. She was one of the people who joined him. I think Dr. Moneyback. So that didn't go anywhere. But it is unfortunate. So I hope you guys, this is now the politics of collaboration. I'm not a spokesperson. I'm not a political leader of the CMC, so I'm not speaking for that. But I believe sometime in the future, if we all do well, there might be a coming together of sorts. I hope there will be, because I believe Alex needs some kind of push. And if he can be pushed one way or the other, and that will put him beyond the barrier right now that he's behind, I'll be more than happy. So I hope you guys are doing your best, to push him through. But I just don't understand why our people do not see what some of us see. They say he's elitist, he's this, he's that, Yeah, this cannot be about the individual attitude. It has to be about the competence, the demonstrated competence and capacity to do better. That's what I believe should all be pushing for. But our people are not opting for that. They cast their vote for experience and longevity, I guess. And this is where we are today. Anyway, so let me pass the baton. I'll come back in when I make another go around. But it's nice to have you guys. So I think this is your opportunity to make your pitch. It's good to have you on set. And Siddiqui, welcome.
Welcome, Mr. Siddiqui. Today we having some great talk. We have a full plate here. We have the young man, Mr. Aliu Kadi, graduate, alumnus of the Torgbean High School, and also a graduate of Stella Marie, one of my schools in the below school in the place. But I want to push back on Victor Nami a little bit. I think the best person now to run Liberia, according to my young brother here, my young man, he said we need to push Liberia from a better nation to a business nation. And I think Honorable Musa...
From a beggar nation.
Yes.
Beggar
nation, okay. I think Honorable Musa Ability is the best person that will even take the country, not from a beggar nation, but to a business nation. And I like that. So now we are going to... Mr. Caddy, tell me why should we say CMC, no, not CMC, but the folks from your side of the CPP rank, because you are no longer CPP, you are just now ANC all by itself. What makes you more qualified to be the arrowhead of the Republic of Liberia when it comes to leadership?
Thank you. I would have loved to react to what Mr. Nangbe said before coming to...
That's correct. You got time. Go
Mr.
ahead.
Gimel. I don't know whether I have that latitude.
You do.
Okay, thank you. Talking about what has been the problem, why is it that those in the ANC have not managed to acquire the requisite appeal across the country for Mr. Cummins? That is a very important question. And that is why when you listen to our presentation during the National Youth Retreat that was held on Saturday, we think collectively, out of those who have managed Mr. Cummins over the time, we have collectively failed to market this good candidate. We've seen JMB over the past time, an approximately 80-year-old man at the time was marketed and sold to the Liberian people as a 20-year-old boy. And we saw President Weah, he was covered with all of his SSA, and he was sold to the Liberian people. Now that we have this candidate, who is the best among these people we mentioned, why is it impossible for us to say? It is not just the character of Mr. Cummins. I think it is about we, the partisans, we, the leaders that are around Mr. Cummins. To some extent, we have failed to market this man. Because other candidates, in spite of their defects, in spite of their manners in terms of leadership, they have been sold to the Liberian people. So we too have a role to play in how we sell Mr. Cummins going forward. And I think that is a strategy that is meant for in-house conversation. We might not be privileged to say how we're going to do that going forward, but the young people in the ANC are concerned that it is time that this thing is about the future. Before the 2023 election, I was thinking about my future alone, but my wife just gave birth. So we are looking at the future of these children. These leaders that are currently on the political scene of this country, which of them is able to guarantee the future of young children? It is about the future of this country. Do we see that future with the Unity Party and Joseph Boakai? Do we see that future of other political parties? Or do we see that future of Mr. Cummins? That is the conversation, the message we intend to sell. The status quo fail and continue to fail the people. We need a breakaway from the status quo. And it is time that we start to examine character. Those people who have managed things and consistently deliver results in different leadership roles. That was just my reaction to what Mr. Nangbe said. The detail to how we're going to market this good product is left within our internal mechanism to handle.
So let me
Talking
say this.
about why
Let me
Mr.
say this
Kumi is the
quickly,
best.
Yeah,
right? I know you're in fight.
he wants to interject. Go ahead.
You're
Go
in
ahead.
fight. Since you brought me, let me say this, right? Look, here is one of the. Let me see some of the things that I see that I have a problem with Alex and the ANC, right?
Yeah.
Right now, immediately after the elections, Mr. Cummings, even before President Weah was ambivalent. In fact, he had declared that he was not going to run again. Do you understand me? Mr. Cummings was immediately the immediate front runner in the opposition community. In the absence of George Weah, I thought he would seize that opportunity. Yes, I advocated, we need to give the UP government a little bit of space to plant their feet on the ground, and let them, give them time to find their footing. I get that. But we can't take a whole year to let them land. Mr. Cummings has still not seized this pace. Yeah, he has made a couple of interventions, but I believe those are weightless. I listened to his presentation on the situation at the Capitol building. Do you understand me? I said to me at the time, if I was advising Alex, he dwelled a lot on what was happening at the Capitol building as opposed to dwelling on the failures of this government that led to what happened at the Capitol building. That's how the opposition is. He's not running to go into the legislature, leave the legislators alone. Yeah, talk about it a little, but attack the Unity Party-led government and its failure to rein in its people, which led to this nonsense at the Capitol building. Alex practically abdicated. The ANC practically abdicated. I don't know what your position is on the situation at the Capitol building.
No, I don't agree.
He still hasn't found his voice.
I do not agree that we have abdicated our role as opposition. We have had different press conferences. Mr. Cummings organized a press conference in District 13 where he spoke to a couple of issues. He held the government feet to the fire. He talked about their promises they made. He talked about how elusive the rescue agenda is, the arrest agenda. An agenda that is built on donor funding is elusive. He mentioned that. He also mentioned the way the people expect that JMB is an experienced president. Things would have started happening from day one. So there was no space to come and learn on the job because the conversation was during the election that this man has 40 years of experience. He has no reason to come and learn on the job. So we have flagged these issues. But look, I think there's a sense in which sometimes there's no one jacket fits all in terms of getting Liberian electorate to vote you. We might come intellectualize the situation about how to get votes. But I think most time the Liberian people decide and say, maybe that JMB will won. Because this going 2023 election, no opposition leader toward the country as compared to Mr. Cummings. No opposition leader spoke to issues affecting Liberian people equal to Mr. Cummings. But I think the Liberian people at certain time can say, we know Mr. Cummings is a good man, but we think that JMB is best suited based on his experiences he have acquired over the time. But the truth is, we are experiencing those experiences. And it is unfortunate. So there will be a shift. There's always time in history where people will find alternative when the choice they made in the past failed them. So I think Mr. Cummings is in a line of the alternative conversation in this country.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Mr. Siliki, welcome, sir. And welcome to Mr. Pewee.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman.
Good. Siliki, are you a member of the ANC?
Yeah, sure.
That question there?
Yes. I just want to make sure that you remember the ANC. I don't know what the ANC is. Educate me. What is the ANC? What is their mission? What's the objectives of the ANC? How long have they been around? And what makes them a viable candidate for anyone to use as an alternative?
Oh, you asking me?
I think your name is Siliki.
But I thought Ali was a guest. I thought we were supposed to be asking Ali instead.
Are you a member of the ANC?
Of course I am, Mr.
Right,
Gibbons.
so answer the question.
But I have my own questions.
Go back to Mr. Kadi. Go ahead.
I will come to that.
Do you have any question for your own ANC brother?
They made the same thing with the cash reloaded. They all get together and ask each other questions. They call it incestual relationship, but it's all right.
Well, I will chip in on Mr. Nandi,
Yes,
on Mr. Gibbons' question.
Mr.
And
Kumar, before you
afterward,
come
I
in,
will go to Ali.
Mr. Kumar, before you come in,
People want to interject quick. Go ahead.
Mr. Kumar, before you come in here, you just doesn't know about the class reloaded, right?
No, cash reloaded. Cash reloaded.
Oh, cash, not class.
Cash reloaded. We call it cash reloaded.
You're right.
Sylvester, don't let him draw you in. They call it class reloaded.
No,
Don't
I know
mind
it's
it,
class, but I said class.
Yes.
It's kind of get out, it's the we all we in the same
That's
dropping, right?
That's
They
right.
come up playing. Then Sidiki look at me, Sidiki say, "But Pewee, I struck the ball. I said, struck the ball because I will have to press Sidiki. Then Sidiki will
Of
press
course.
That's what happening. But to see the government quickly, we're writing now to this level of bringing class reloaded back. That's a serious problem.
Of course.
There's a problem that the folks they don't understand, and that there's a problem that they are performing way backward. And there's a serious concern the country is not going in the right direction. Yes, what I will advise them. This class reloaded will not help them. It will not change nothing. The best thing to do is to bring the rate down. The best thing to do is to change the prices in the market. The best thing to do is when people go pay their children tuition. Listen, a government propaganda machinery by themselves will not help change the trajectory of what is supporting the country. That's a lost cost they are on. Lost cost. And what they're going to do, they're going to raise, some of them are going to get thousands of dollars from that. They're going to raise money from different, you see what they're doing now, they're bringing free money director. Then they will tell you tomorrow we need a budget. And you're right, we need a budget of 100,000 to support this process.
That's correct.
It's a money-eating initiative. But Sidiki can go ahead, my brother.
Sidiki, go ahead. ANC.
Go ahead and talk about the ANC.
You can't say this is all CMC today. You got two able-bodied, tough intellectuals from the ANC. Make your case. What is the mission of the ANC, and why should I look at you as an alternative?
So Mr. Gibbons, back to your question. It's good to be here again. And Ali, welcome on the show. Good to see you, my brother. And
well, how you say you know Ali so?
Are you guys still alternative to CDC? Are you guys still alternative to CDC?
No, we are the Alternative National Congress.
So Mr. Gibbons, to your question, how long the ANC been around? So I think the ANC been around since 2016 when the CDC went to a convention and some members got disenchanted. They came, they organized the ANC. 2016 to 2017, Tim Cummins, Mr. Cummins came with a team called Tim Cummins, headed by Ty Wome at the time. And, instead of trying to how they call it, find another party, and this, I'm just trying to bring this up to clear this narrative that people get that, Cummins don't want to work with other people. He seems to be the big shot guy and all of that. Based on the propaganda, the Unity Party tried to spew around during the last election. So instead of creating his own party, he came and said, "Look, what we can do is to just collaborate with the other political parties that are already established, in a spirit of collaboration to fight for the change we want to see in our country." And definitely, they reach out to ANC, and that is how the Mr. Cummins, Tim Cummins, then, and the ANC was able to formally collaborate and fund the ANC. And of course, 2017, Mr. Cummins ran on the ticket of the ANC, which we got 7%. But here is it. You talk about the vision. You ask questions about the vision or the mission of the ANC. I think the mission of the ANC or the vision of the ANC is to provide alternative for Liberia, because from one election to another, we hear this war, every time change. But I can say Liberians have seen change because for one political party to another, but they've not been able to see that change, reflecting in the lives of the of the people, of the Liberian people. And so the mission of the ANC is to come to provide a fundamental change, focusing on, like Aliu stated earlier on, focusing on improving the economy, providing jobs for Liberians, to be able to be self-sufficient, graduating from a beggar's country to an independence country. And Mr. Cummings always say this. He said, look, we all have our own talents in us. Some people, they are talented to be footballers. Some people, they are talented to be musicians. Some people, they are talented to be, how you call it, in different career or different fields. But he himself, he said, look, I'm talented to how you call it, to work on finance or economy. And so if you elect me, my focus will be, my strength will be to improve the economy of the country, and he have proven that in all the places he worked before, at Pillsbury, an American company in the US, from there he came to Coca-Cola, starting from regional director in Nigeria to becoming president of Coca-Cola Africa, and then going to becoming a vice president or chief administrative officer globally. And this is something on his retirement. And I would say this is all Liberians. You can go and just Google Cummings retirement at Coca-Cola and see what the company had to say about this man. And the statement they are there this is a public record. And so, yes, our mission is to provide this alternative, for Liberians to see a different Liberia and work with all Liberians, regardless of your past history, and all of that. So I think I've answered your question. Now, where is Aliu?
Aliu, are you there?
Now let me throw a light smoke on Mr. Nangbe comments he made, about Mr. Cummings not addressing the reason that led to the Capitol building crisis.
Let me qualify that.
Mm-hmm.
His address, I believe, was inadequate. So let me just say it that way. He did speak
adequate. When you say adequate, what do you mean?
Okay. So as an opposition leader, right? You come in a space, you want to command the space. You can't come and say the same thing that I said, that Gayman said, that Pewee said. Then you're just a part of the noise. You come in a space and you command the space. I didn't see that coming from the presentation that Mr. Cummings made on this crisis. So he came and acknowledged, he talked about some of the very things that we all knew that was happening. People were suffering. People will go to bed hungry because of what was happening in the Capitol building. Yeah, those are things that other people have already said. I expected him.
So the first thing, Mr. Nangbe, sorry, I keep missing your name, Mr. Gayman.
That's okay. People say that I'm the better looking one. He's the,
That's right.
The first thing, Mr. Nangbe, right after the second round of the election, and especially the kind of result we got, everybody was frustrated and all of that. And, people wanted Mr. Cummings to right away start critiquing, even though there was no inauguration at the time, to start, talking. And he had a meeting and say, look, guys, we have to give this administration an opportunity to do what they were elected to do. And what that means is basically giving them some time, which is fair, a country like Liberia, you don't expect the government to take over, and maybe that's why, a lot of Liberians been saying Cummings is silent, he's not speaking and all of that. So he said this, that he was going to give the administration a year or 6 months or something. That is enough, fair enough. And he did that. While doing that, Mr. Cummings occasionally communicated with the Liberian people through his.
So that right there is a mistake. That right there is that's the first mistake. Either you're taking time off or you're not taking time off. You can do both. You can take time off.
Occasionally speaking, for example, when I say occasionally speaking, when you have Ramadan comes in the country, you wish the Muslim community or happy Ramadan. When you have independence in the country, you come and say, this. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Occasionally speaking. Yeah, so he was communicating, through his Facebook page.
Excuse me. Where is Mr. Kehleboe? Because you're not a man, you're not a guest today. What happened to Kehleboe?
So, but and the same question, you say no, I'm on top.
No, I want you to talk about. I let him to be here. So, but anyway, go ahead. After this, I have to go to Pewee. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you see, Mr. Given, that's the same question I'll ask you that I'm not a guest. You know, since I'm always here as a panelist, I wanted to ask Ali, but you see, you have to answer. But here is the thing, Mr. Nambe. You know, Mr. Cummins have had like about 3 to 4 media engagement. Sometime this year, I think earlier this year, he had a joint press conference, a media engagement, not only a press conference, where you have journalists from different media institutions around the Nigeria area. And T-Max was moderating that engagement. And he spoke, and the other thing, Mr. Cummins, you know, I took from that statement regarding this government performance. Mr. Cummins said, look, we just won the election. The Liberian people who made a decision to vote for the Unity Party and President Guar should be the one to tell us how is their life? Is their life better off than it were a few months ago or a year ago? How is the economy of the country? Are they getting jobs? You know, because if they come to say, yes, I agree with you, people will say, you know what, you opposition, you angry because you got 1% of the vote and other. But people who went under the sun and rain and vote for the Unity Party, if they come up like what most of the media, you know, institutions are doing, are they going to the market, interviewing those people? These are the people who voted for the UP, and the feedback is kind of negative. That's why the class reloaded and now regroup themselves to come and sugarcoating and lie to the people, because these are the real people should be telling us how their lives have changed over time, you know, within a year or two by this administration. If Cummins come and say, look, the government is not how they call it. And one of the key things before I close on Mr. Nambe, Mr. Cummins said this kind of politics, part of that engagement too as well. He said this kind of politics, what people expect us to be aggressive, you know, insultive, you know, and saying all kinds of negative things and all of that. He said, I'm not that kind of person. And maybe that's something we can change, you know, going forward. That may be the reason for Liberians now, our message not resonating with the Liberian people. He said, I'm not going to insult because the Kehleboe being insulting, Prophet Key being insulting. What's the difference we've been able to see for the different insult? I'm not going to just criticize because people want me to speak. But when I see the need to speak, I will come up and criticize and provide recommendation. And I think this is what Liberia needs, you know. And yes, in being speaking, and he will be having a different media engagement in the next future to come. But I hope Ali can come back on.
Yes,
so that
we have to go to our platform here. Honorable Pewee, we have some serious issues here. We have the death of Nancy Doe. We're going to be discussing that, her impact, her legacy, and what that generation of politicians brought to the country. But first of all, let's close on this ANC thing. ANC release, they just put a statement, right? A press release a few minutes ago, they forwarded to me. The ANC suspend Representative Anthony Williams, Nathaniel Bawe, Nyenwolo, and its National Vice Chairman for Finance and Investment, Mr. Fubi Henry, for 6 months. The Secretariat of the Alternative National Congress wishes to inform the public and all parties that Representative Anthony Williams, Nathaniel Bawe, Nyenwolo, and Mr. Fubi Henry, Vice President, have been officially suspended from the party for the period of 6 months. The decision was reached in accordance with Article 24, blah, 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 for not being disciplinary. But that's it. And then on Tuesday, yesterday, a duly convened meeting of the ANC Executive Committee was held, and they did all this. Now we are talking about why the ANC is not getting any traction. Where were they the whole while this was going on? They have waited, everything have ceased. The illegal speaker have become speaker, everything have died. Then they come here with a statement suspending these for why these people were not expelled or suspended that the CDC did during the heyday of it. Do you see some similarity why the Liberian people think these people are not serious?
No, I don't think I should nail them on the basis of that. And I want to believe that the ANC are institutions that do believe in the rule of law, and they do have an executive committee, right? So the executive committee took time to adjudicate this matter. They thought it was prudent to act and act now. So let me be very, very frank and to them and say they acted in conformity with institutional policy, right? They say hey, they needed this time because one person cannot take a decision on behalf of the party. So it's a political party that do have the executive committee that is part of the responsibility to take action. So I don't think their action now is because the people won't take no. They acted because they will have to take a vote. And so I want to respect the decision on this process. They took time and they went through it basically, and they acted in keeping with their own constitution, if you will, in terms of suspending these people for this process. Because they wanted to, there was, I think, before political institution would take this kind of a decision, I believe sincerely there were some actions and discussion behind the scene to mitigate this process, right? They didn't want to reach to this level of expulsion or suspension. So the fact that they failed and they met all of the necessary conditions, if you will, and they took the decision now to suspend these people, believing that they breach party laws, if you will, right? So let me respect them for that. I don't think that Liberian people want to judge them on the basis of just taking this decision. Now, on the other hand, I have to believe that the NC don't have to be insulted. Mr. Comey don't have to be insulted. No, he don't have to be. No, he don't have to be overly combative, but you have to be forceful. Now, the Liberian political process is that you don't have to romanticize situation as they unfold in the country. You have to be firm on the decision-making processes and on how you want to take to them. Remember, you have to introduce different spheres of political strategy as to win the attention of the people. Now, the brother was on here just now, he said, the ANC traveled across the country than any political party or political leader, if you will. Now, but traveling across the country does not change the face of the party if the strategy deploying or the message is the wrong message or you deploy the wrong messengers. So, now, you can engage. Your engagement methodology will have to be, the frequency can be very high, but the pattern and the messenger and the message can all be wrong. Two things can be wrong at the same time, right? So what I do believe is that the NC, if the NC want to change the chapter of things, they will have to re-engage in a more steady way, and part of the re-engagement methodology will have to be the basis of deploying folks that are aligned with the political activities by our country. Folks that do understand, you do not need an excess baggage to come along with the political party. You need strategists, you need folks that are less polarizing, right? And you need folks that will deploy the real message and win folks along, right? Because the main issue about Cummings, people say he's not that interactive as a political person. He will have to change that mindset. If Cummings were to enter a hall today, he just moves straight to his seat and sit. No. His handlers or his followers or his protege would not have to be very clear to him, engage him, say, hey, Chief, we are engaging in a program in Bon County for you. If you arrive, you don't have to rush straight to the seat. Engage the young people, engage those that you meet, have some conversation, chat with them. Chit-chatting in politics matters a lot. Liaising with folks matters a lot. But if you just went straight out and sit after the program, book into your car, you leave, you're not gaining, the people-to-people relationship, you have to build that. So yeah, you can go across the country. The frequency does not matter. What matters, my dear brother, is the message and the messengers that are deploying those messages across the country. So it's strategic in politics. The way you have to get along with people and the way you champion those processes is very key. It's not that people say, well, just Bwaka time. I believe we intellectuals can begin the process of shifting. Policy and strategy is very important in political processes. So I would think that the commissar, if he wants to be very key in this process, he would now begin the process of moving throughout the length and breadth of the country, changing his messenger, changing his surrogates, deploying the right surrogates. You're going to get everybody, but there are certain folks that will come along and that will deploy certain messages. You don't need folks that will be too much belligerent in terms of disseminating your information. No. You need folks that will be tiring figures that got connections. So someone that will kind of deploy a message that he will call me. Sylvester Pewee, let me we'll sit and talk. And that's the kind of a way Mr. Cummings will have to do things. And you don't have to be insulted, Siddiqui, I agree with you, but you have to be robust, and you have to be firm, and you have to be proactive. The combination of the three will help the party a lot in terms of changing your popularity rating, your approval rating. Your approval rating, I learned, is in the waters. You can take it from there and push it off from as per the the election results, last election results. You can do that as by changing the public relation mechanism of the political leader and the engagement with the EU of the move. But yes, things are not all lost, but I think the party acted, given to answer your question, they acted in conformity of their constitution, and I do respect them for that. I would not want to bash on them on that basis. It was in keeping with their constitution. We all should learn to respect the rule of law, and those are very, not only that they are recalcitrant elements, but they are elements that don't regard and abide by constitutional authority, and that is wrong.
Great. Welcome, Sarah Dopo, to the show. You came just in time, and I'm gonna drop this hot fufu. I'm from Barcelona, so we're gonna drop the hot fufu right into your hand. Now here we are. Before I go back to Mr. Kehleboe here, the ANC just did a release, right? And they are suspending a slew of officers, top officers, for their part they took in this illegal activities in the House against the policy, and their rule. CDC had some of their members doing the same thing, and the CDC met, they had an emergency meeting, and they expelled some people from the party for not following party discipline. So why ANC waited until the illegal people became legal, everything, everybody kissing and hugging, now they come up with the letter of suspension? Isn't this why some of the people are saying this party here is they are a suspect? They are not firm. We don't know where they stand on issue.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for the show. Thank you for having me. I want to say hi to our followers on this beautiful platform. If you want my honest opinion, I will tell you.
Please be honest and brutal.
Okay.
At the same time.
If you want my I'll be honest here to tell you that I don't think they were wrong for doing.
You want to be honest and brutal, right?
Yeah, brutal. Be brutal.
I will not be brutal the way you want me to be, but I'll be honest.
No. I can tell you to do anything you don't want to do. Go ahead.
All right, but so to tell you the truth, I don't think they were wrong for doing what they are doing now. I mean, they were defeated as well as the CDC, and I think they see it fit at this point in time to rebrand, to regroup, to look within themselves and see, where they went wrong. Who are those they kept on board that they shouldn't have been there, and who are those that betrayed their cause? And if they come out to take this decision, I think it's the right time, because 2029 will soon be here. It's time for everybody, even the CDC, to look within themselves and see what they have gone wrong and be able to correct the mistakes. So I think they are spot on, and I applaud them for that.
Great. Mr. Kehleboe, welcome back. Now let's look. I mean, I know you are part of, as the chair. I mean, Secretary General of the Youth. You are an intricate part of the administration. Let's talk about the autopsy. You just had a loss, a major loss. What is the autopsy have you done to tell you what killed it? Like John Bailey just said, what killed it, dead body?
Thank you. It is unfortunate that some of the things we were saying, the party people didn't like it, and the boy sat down on one transformer and Corin left. But we are back. Talking about autopsy, we went to an election, and the result we got defies common sense. We do not believe that is our results. That is a mystery that we are yet to unravel, but we are committed to unraveling that mistake. So there are conversations we are having. We have seen some issues that we should have corrected. If the elections were to be recalled, we would do things differently, obviously. We have had retreats. We have pondered on where we went wrong and what are those things we can correct going forward. I agree with Mr. Pewee, messaging, star presentation, getting the right people and all the message. I think this is the intellectual side about it. But the reality is, if you listen to some of the things the electorate says, you will now want to argue that it is about message. Because there are too many people in our country today, even with their history and excess baggage, people still follow them. And you wonder why people follow these people. They have no message, no substance, they are empty. But just because they are charismatic in their own style, say some unfavorable things, people follow them. So the conversation about what we need to do, it is not a one size fits all. It is about looking at the Liberian society holistically, looking at the psychology of our people, what they think, how they make decision, and all these kind of things. And that is what we are going to unravel within our conduct of the autopsies you mentioned. And those conversations are internal conversations that we are having. I do not sit in the privileged position to have conversation about some of the things you are asking about what we're going to do. I think that is an internal party strategy that we are going to deploy. But we are good. We have seen some of the things that we mismanaged, that we didn't handle well. And now the young people are saying we are going to take charge of this thing. We are going to market our candidate. We have a decent candidate that is not connected to the Liberian traditional politics, the cutting deals, the gentleman agreements, putting money in budget and going after it through ministries. The ANC and its political leader is not connected to these kind of things in the Liberian political space. So we have the moral credibility to speak to governance issue. I've always said those two parties have been contracted to supply governance in the first place. So whatever thing the Liberian society is confronted with, those two parties must account for it. ANC is the future of this country in terms of political governance. So all of the things that you mentioned in the autopsy is something that the ANC have pondered over, and we now have solution for most of these things going forward. We are going to treat things differently. We are going to engage the political space differently, and we are going to get a different result.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of The Closing Argument. I have with me Honorable Sylvester K. Pewee. I have Siliki Kroma here. I got the guests for today, Aliu Keadi, the spokesperson, the chief of the youth wing of the ANC. Honorable Nambe, your question for our guest.
Let me ask you, Mr. Caddy and also Mr. Kroma, do you think the ANC lawmakers in the House, in the legislature, I mean, some have been expelled now, which I really think suspended from the party. Let me ask you about the ANC's position on the $30,000 that was given to the, I think 54th, because now I think it's 100,000 or so. What is the party's position on that?
The ANC, and that is where Senator Dillon fell out with Mr. Cummings. When the issue of the 30,000 came out, Mr. Cummings was the only opposition political leader condemning that 30,000. And at the time, Senator Nathan, who is late now, was the chairman of the ANC. He said, Chief, you should have called us into advise us on the thing. No need to go public. And that is not the person of Mr. Cummings. That is the normal Liberian politics. That insofar you want to maintain relationship with these people, you ought to call them indoor and advise them. But for him, he thought it was good to put it on public record. Because some of the question people ask, where were you when these things happen? You have to put it on record so that you can be able to reference it. That today we can boldly sit and say, Mr. Cummings condemned the issue of 30,000 before the 2023 election. It is on record. And now that the impasse, throughout the impasse, he spoke twice, calling for the president to act before the president issued a statement that he was going to work with a quorum. Okay. He begged the president to act and respect the Supreme Court ruling. He also cautioned the lawmakers of the ANC to respect the law and join the rule of law caucus. But they refused. So the party went ahead and set up a committee to invite these people in the spirit of due process. We called them. Many of them said they were not honoring that invitation. that was arrogance, and shared this with God for the party. So the EC met and took a decision that you cannot say you're lawmaker for a party and you do not respect the laws and decision of that party. You might disagree with the party internally with certain position, but when the decision is made, you must respect that decision and defend it as if to say you were one of the original proponent of that decision. And it is unfortunate, though the ANC had a clear position that if you want to remove Fanatic Kofa, follow the law. We were not defending Fanatic Kofa, we were defending the rule of law. Follow the law. Anthony Williams said he couldn't listen. He was in our LJ. Yaplomo was in our LJ for more than a month. Nathaniel Bowie was in our LJ for more than a month. The only ANC lawmaker who consistently stood with the rule of law was Honorable Tawangwe. So all of these people are deviant. One of the persons who is now a lawmaker is on spoon every night, quoting the Constitution upside down for hearings. He went against the party decision publicly. The man is defending lawlessness, even though his party has taken decision. He is a vice chair for finance and investment in the party. So publicly, he go against the party decision. That is an affront to the party. There's a difference between ordinary partisans and those who hold strategic position in the party. You owe the party a duty in terms of public messaging and image. So the party was now wrong. We supported that decision from the level of the Youth Congress that these people ought to be taught a lesson that insofar you hold a membership of a party, you must respect proceedings, you must respect decision. That is the more reason why when these people are elected to the national legislature, they don't respect laws and procedures because they started with a political party. So the discipline must come from a political party because those parties are government in waiting. If you cannot take a decision at the level of political party, then there's no need for us to trust your governance of the state.
Thank
And
you.
that is why ANC is trying to demonstrate.
Well, thank you. I asked the question only because I know Mr. Cummings came out and spoke against that. I remember that very well. And then when this thing happened at the Capitol building, I know he also called on his lawmakers, but there seems to be a consistent pattern of defiance. That's why I'm asking you these questions, because I think, you know, the party has risen to that level now where I think it has had is full of defiance, and now so you're taking action, which is good. I'm hoping this is going to be, you know, continue going forward. Either you're with us or you're not. You know, you can't belong to the party and the party is going in one direction, and you know you seem to be going in another direction. That's why I asked this question. I'm glad. I like the questions. I mean, the answers that you're putting forth. Like I said earlier, I had hoped to see more fire in the belly of the ANC. I didn't see that when I was an advisor. So, but you know, good luck to you guys. I will pass. You know, the station.
Siliki, your question to our guest. We got 10 more minutes here. Then we'll go to a national issue. Mr. Kiadi, you can stay. We will be discussing next the passing of the First Lady Nancy Doe. We'd like to get your take, so you can stay on as long as we can. Yes, Siliki, your question to Mr. Kiadi.
Yeah, again, Aliu, thanks for all you're doing, you know, my brother, to be able to, you know, help with the Youth Congress. Recently, we saw the youth retreat during the weekend, I think on Saturday, and you guys did a great job where you had people from, I think, counties coordinators from different counties to the headquarters of the ANC in Monrovia, and Mr. Cummings attended our program. So I would like to ask you basically, what was the sources of that retreat, and what do we expect to see, you know, more than what we saw on Saturday from the retreat? And once you answer that, my next question will come up.
Thank you, Siliki. Yes, the ANC retreat saw youth chairperson and secretary general coming from the 15 counties to discuss on how do we take this youth congress from this level to heights unimaginable. So we had a conversation about decentralizing the youth programs in the party so that the congress it's not seen as Monrovia Youth Congress. We want to see advocacy happening in Bon County through the leadership of the Youth Congress there. We want to see similar thing happening in Zweju. We want to see similar thing happening in Vonjama. So that if the Youth Congress speaks in Vonjama, it should be the young people in the ANC Youth Congress that will be speaking in Vonjama. And that will be coordinated by the National Youth Congress in Monrovia. We want to see people taking issue in Mangibi, because the issues that affect people in Mangibi, it is a Liberia issue. Those that affect the people in Nima, it is also a Liberia issue. So you don't want to have a youth congress that is always speaking from Monrovia and all of that. We want to have our youth chairs trained so that they can be able to carry those messages. No country around the world fought a war without a trained army. So you have to train your youth congress leaders, and that is something we intend to kickstart very soon. We are going to train our young leaders in the different counties to be able to sustain advocacy, to be able to sell Mr. Cummings the party, to be able to explain the party agenda. So it was inclusive of all of that. We also intend to do many party work. For example, in terms of mobilization and recruitment, we want to see the young people taking charge of that also, because we have the energy, we have the passion, and we can move. So yes, our older folks will be there serving as advisor, but in terms of doing the field work, entering the trenches, I think the young people should be given the benefit of the doubt to do these things. And the young people have realized that if we do not take over the leadership in the party, if we do not take the responsibility of marketing this good candidate, then we'll also feel as those people who did it before us. And on our leadership, we think we can do it. With the support of the party, with the support of our comrades behind us, we can have a firebrand youth congress across the country. And that is why we tested it this on Saturday, to bring these people, give them some training, explain the agenda going forward, and the next thing is execution.
Thank you.
That's great.
Your second question, guy.
That's great, Aliu. My next question would be about the program that you guys launched, I think, a month ago. Every Friday, you gather at the headquarters of the ANC, and you encourage new members to come over. You take down names, and numbers. So, like, how is this program is going to be like? Because over the time, people will come and register. You have their duties, but you don't reach out to them until maybe you're ready for. So, do we expect regular checking on those new members? That you are taking that information just to kind of feed a part of the process. Because now we're talking about doing things differently. And lastly, to that, you made a statement at a program on Saturday. And I want to know, Aliu, because people do this most of the times in politics. You go to a program, you make a statement, and right after that, you don't even follow up on what you say. So, like you said, everyone, including you and all of us, we failed to market Mr. Cummings. And executive members, people who are holding executive position, they should start to come out now to promote the ANC and Mr. Cummings. If they fail to do that, they should leave the position for the young people to take over. So, how prepared are you in the Youth Congress to make sure that this statement you made on at the retreat be implemented? It should not just be a statement that, you were just on a program, Ali made a statement, you just wanted to be in the news, and that's just all. So, did you really meant what you say, and how prepared are we to implement this? To make sure that when you're not ready to be identified with us publicly, then you should give chance to other people to do, or to occupy your position. So I would like to get a feedback on those two. It's a one question thing, but just shout out quick. Thank you.
Check it. The statement we made on Saturday was very intentional, and we meant every word spoken. We think it is a disservice to our party and Mr. Cummings that you have national leaders who will sit in certain leadership position and would not come out to explain the party to the people, to explain our agenda, to sell this candidate. In other parties, you see National Executive Committee leaders on different shows every day having press conferences. So why don't we see that happening in the ANC? Mr. Nangbeya was an advisor. How often did he see maybe vice chair for political affairs, this other vice chair, that person, this person,
So
taking
let me
debates?
stop you right there. During my tenure, as I promoted the CPP on FOL at the time, I was associated with FOL. You'll go back and see. But not a single party executive ever agreed to come on FOL.
Yeah.
We
So
extended.
Can he
yeah,
finish
that's why
before he forgets?
that is the point I'm making. For
Yeah.
you are not an executive of the ANC. So maybe you are an advisor to the CPP, right? But we're saying if you look in the ANC constitution, you have more than 30 National Executive Committee leaders. What is stopping our leaders from coming out? Today I'm here, it's almost 12. I mean, the goal. Tomorrow we should see another National Executive Committee leader marketing this man. That is the only way we're going to sell this product. So if you relinquish that position, if you are so reluctant, if you are so afraid, then leave the position for those who have the face, the passion, and the energy to do it. If you think you can do the job, then don't occupy the position, because the position comes with responsibility. We saw in other parties, the chairman will be taking issue, taking debates. The assistant secretary general, that person, this person taking issue. Do we see that happening in the ANC? That is our concern.
Thank you.
And that is the concern of the young people.
Sarah, your question, then I go to Pewee.
I think Ali, you forget about the
have.
membership follow up.
Yeah, so that program we launched, yes, you are right. It is about recruitment and membership drive. We also have a database where we do bulk messaging to those people we have recruited. You see us telling people even happy birthday. I don't want to say much because CMC people here before they take that strategy.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Sarah, come
No,
on, ask your
Wait,
question.
let me conclude that. Mr. Nango, let Ali conclude, please.
Let the man finish. What?
So
Sarah, go ahead, ask the man
let
question.
me ask my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aliu, I want
Yeah.
to say thank you. You seem to be a very brilliant young man and want to sell your candidate, which I wholeheartedly appreciate and applaud you for that. But there are a lot of doubts out there that you guys will have to work really hard to clear when it comes to rebranding and selling Mr. Cummings. And I want to I don't know whether he sat you guys down and explained some of these things to y'all, or you guys have any answer. But I want to know from you, how are you guys going to rebrand Mr. Cummings? Because a lot of Liberians see Mr. Cummings as being someone who is not the people type, and people see him as being someone who is not the me first kind of attitude. Like some people felt that, some Liberians felt that he could have come to politics through going through the Senate and doing other things, to work his way through to the presidency. And even when they collaborated with the CPP, he wanted to be the standard bearer, and Boaga wanted to be the standard bearer. I think when they thought about going to election, people were afraid because he was going to use cash cow to get the president or the presidential seat or candidacy. So how are you guys, with all of these negativities, how are you guys going to, I mean, I'm not saying that's who he is. I'm just saying this is the notion of a lot of Liberians. So how are you guys going to rebrand him to show to the Liberian people that Mr. Cummings is not that kind? Because I remember there was a story that came up even during the when he was working in Nigeria, and they said that a lot of Liberians went there for help, and he acted that he didn't know them, stuff like that. So all of these things pop up during election time. So what is your rebranding strategy? That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are going to go beyond rhetorics to sell this man. We are going to do it through our actions. For example, if you do a survey, the most hated group in this country now is the legislature. Before it used to be the police. If you ask many Liberians, they will say the Liberian legislature is useless. They are there for interest and all the kind of things. So no leader, from what we know so far, can change this country through the Liberian legislature. It's not possible. Any president can go there and buy everybody, even if your party didn't win a single legislative seat. Just become president, you can buy all the lawmakers in there because they don't have principles. These people after their balance. So I don't agree that anything significant can come out of the legislature looking at the caliber of people we have in the legislature. Talking about Mr. Cummings and the perception people have, I think most of it is perception. And we as young people, we have heard many of these things because we are always in the street and ghettos. So we are going to employ actions. We are going to take Mr. Cummings to the people. We're taking to our friends. And the way we are going to do it, we are going to be the ones in charge, telling him, Chief, let's do this, let's go here and let's go there. And that is why we are driving the change, because most of the people who vote are young people and we understand the issues, we hear what they say. So we're taking him there. If they see him in certain action, they say, but what they say about this man is wrong. We're seeing different thing in real life. If he's displaying one thing and people are explaining another thing, it becomes difficult for the people to believe you because they're seeing the man in action and you're explaining something oblivious. So we are in charge of this process. If the people say Mr. Cummings can interact with the people, will take him to the market with me to sit there and listen to them. If they say he doesn't want to listen to the Ghana boss, we'll take him there. You will listen to them.
Thank you.
That is how we are going to employ the action, not just sitting on the radio and say, oh, Mr. Cummings will create job. He has to listen and interact with these people, and the young people will take him to the people he needs to listen to.
Pewee, your question to...
Now, two questions each, bro.
Excuse me. Thank you for correcting me. Go ahead, Sarah. Your second question.
So my second question will be, and Aliu, to tell you the truth, I really appreciate your candid answers, and I think you are right with most of the things you explained. In order for Mr. Cummings to be, rebranded, you guys have to do a great job of, taking him to the Liberian people.
So all the things Siliki said are not true? Okay.
I get that for Siliki. I dealing with the gas.
Go ahead, sis.
So, Aliu, another thing, are you guys open to, because now I hear you talking about did you guys suspend your lawmakers because they didn't follow the rule of law? Or you expelled them? Which one? I didn't get that point clear.
They were suspension for 6 months.
Okay, good. So are you guys open to kind of collaborating with other parties, which I know because we all know that one political party
say collaboration with CDC.
So in order to collaborate with other parties, do you guys have any preference?
But that would be a good thing for you to do. To collaborate with CDC, it'll be good news for you.
Exactly. So don't mind, and they know they need CDC there. So are you guys gonna collaborate in order to, because we know one political party cannot win election in our country. So are you guys gonna collaborate with other parties? And if so, how you're gonna do that? Because with the kind of toxic and gullibility in our Liberian politics right now, how you guys gonna accomplish that? Thank you.
So there's prospect for collaboration. But as of now, we are working around issues. If there are issues in the country that concern opposition, we unite around those issues and speak. Like you saw with the rule of law case, the CDC and other political parties came at the ANC party headquarters and we spoke to that issue collectively. So there will be issues that the opposition will need to come and speak as an opposition community. But on the question of collaboration, there is prospect. But what we say in the ANC, we will not walk into a collaboration blindly. Seen the boy all before. So, yeah, when you see laser now, you gotta be afraid.
Not even the laser, but the tail of the laser.
I know, right?
So we were treated unfairly in the CPP. Those things that people agree to, knowing full well that if we start to follow what we agree to in the CPP framework document, they were chicken out. JMB agreed to consensus. He agreed to primary. When the time came for primary, he said, no, Cummings got money more than him. You will buy my delegates. So at that time, the Liberian people should have understand that if JNB is saying that Mr. Cummings will buy his delegates, and in a case where he wins election, these are the same delegates he will be appointing in government ministry and agency. So if they can be bribed at primary level, what do you think they will do in government? And that is where we are having a problem today. Mo Ali digging hole for 250,000. After 1 week, we have water problem in the same area. He dug the hole. We seen Patrick Honda and all the people. Those were the delegates. And that is why we are having these issues, because they can easily be compromised. So we there is prospect of collaboration, but there is no rush for collaboration now. It might happen in the future. Now we are collaborating around specific issues that concern the Liberian people and of interest to opposition community.
Thank you. Pewee.
Yeah, thank you, Ali, for coming. Also, for me, I really, I don't know if I came in, but I just wanted to know one wonderful thing. I do openly state that I love the process about having that we are in a pluralistic democracy. So political parties should be established. The Constitution provides those reasons for us to do those things. But again, it's just like the election commissions do have our election law is also clear in terms of our to maintain to one ranking as a political party. This blah 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 you have to do. I know you met all of those basic issues moving on, but I just want to know from you if your political leader is I don't know if you answered that already. If you answered that, then I can move on. But I just want to know from you quickly. First, I'll ask you. Until you move on there, I will ask my last one. If your political leader, Mr. Cummings, is actually, because in other dispensations, in other countries, if we will, competitively, there are folks that really push they want to be president. Despite they will contest one election, they really want to be president. They are, refer to this where they are consummate politicians. Come what may, they will continuously contest the presidency until maybe there's no time to contest. Is your standard bearer really intend to be president of Liberia, or he's just trying to test the water? I just want to know this from you personally. Is he really, is the intention really to fight for the people and to be president of Liberia?
Hey, Mr. Pewee, pressing on the reality.
I know, right?
How do you know how to I want to hear from you, my dear, but I want to hear from you on this. I want to know if
you will not press on words, so
yeah. So I want to know that today.
Yeah, so sincerely, we have passed the testing water time. In 2017, that was the time we were testing the water. But Mr. Cummings wants to become president. He has that fire in his stomach.
Okay.
And he understands that he's fighting the status quo.
Okay.
Because there are people who benefit from the way the country is. Those kind of people will not just allow change to be ushered in. They will fight back, obviously, whether through the election commission or through the political system. You know, when you went to Mr. Cummings and you tell him, I want to support you in the election, and maybe that is one conversation we should be having. If you went to him and say, look, I can support you in the election, but if you win, I want to be MPA managing director, it's most likely not to agree. And these are common deals in politics that people say, oh, the man are political, man, the man ready. Maybe these are conversations we need to have, like everybody putting their things on the table. Mr. Cummings is not most likely to have these kinds of conversation just for winning power's sake. I think he wants to deliver, and if you have a proven track record of delivering these things so that we don't have political crisis or economic crisis in the future. So he has the passion to become president and usher in the change, like I said initially, to change this country from a beggar nation to a business nation. But around the political conversation, there are too many things that we have to offset in order to have reality on one hand and defining our own pathway to the presidency.
Okay, that's good. And I agree with you 100% that there should be no political leader in our country history whatsoever that should bargain the presidency in terms of giving job before going there. No, because and the premise of the constitution of our country, my dear brother, you agree with me. It's part of the reason why they say the appointing power, Article 54, and those that the president appoint serve in 56 serve the will and pleasure of the president. He appointed 54 and 56, they serve at his will and pleasure. Because if we were to do this kind of a thing and people will not just, I mean, that's what the president is elected to make sure. Because if Siddiqui or Aliyu just support him because Siddiqui want to be finance minister, Aliyu want to be public work minister, and the intent is not basically to really see my vision, but to just go for the job of those things that the job bring up along, then I mean the vision of the very person that was elected will be eroded. So and I agree with you in principle on that. And I will never support any political leader in my country history on the basis of saying I want to get a job. Now, eventually, yeah, there's going to be issues, but if you allow the person, and no leader should even just put anybody in a way you think the person will not perform just because they supported you. And I suspect this current government, there are a lot of area folks were appointed because they spent some money. Now, even if you supported, and on this side, people will support, they have donor will give money. They'll have their own business interests also, but the president should have the opportunity to structure his administration where he believes his vision going to be pushed and the way of the people going to be. And that's why I'm saying. But again, that's what I just wanted to know from you. But I think a good representation of the institution on a serious note. You one of those that Siddiqui being here represented, but yeah, your eloquent way of defending your institution and the rest of what you guys are doing. I wish the party all the best on the most serious note, and I will hope because I was hearing from the grapevine that Mr. Cummings said to a certain group of people, I don't know, I said from the grapevine, I stand to be corrected here, the only way he'll contest the coming presidency, this presidential elections until people were to find the money, then he will contest. And I told the person that I don't think that is true. But is that by any chance true that Cummings said that the only way he will contest that Rempo should find the money before he contests? Is that true? I would just
no, that's not true.
Okay, so basically, yeah, and thank you for coming. We hope we'll discuss other things, but I think I do respect Mr. Cummings on a serious note. But again, on this show before, and those that follow the show via the Facebook, I believe that I'm one of those that can nominate, so they can come after me sometimes. Say, "Oh, I don't know," because I always speak to the I spoke about it 1 or 70% thing they always know, but I respect him a lot. As a matter of fact, the first time I met with him when he visited Ben, left from Liberia, I came to school in Arizona. We interacted briefly and all that, and I admire his courage. I admire someone that will go in this country. This country is a competitive nation. One will come from way small country, West Africa, from Maryland County, and come be in a corporate world here and get catapulted to that level. It's an extraordinary thing. You need to admire such a person. You learn from them. We don't compete with this kind of people. We learn. They create the pathway for us. And that's why I said to him, I said, hey, people like you create the pathway, give us the appetite to do things to navigate our way through society. Because in doing this kind of a thing here, you have to negotiate in a firm way, and that will take all of us collectively together. So I respect him for that. And when can he be a good leader? Trust me, I'm not one person to judge that, I would think. But in the past, as I said, the way his message, his campaign being structured, for me personally, and that's why I criticized before people can get there with me, Ali. I think this time around, he will need strong messengers. You need less polarizing figure around him that will help push the message to him. And then if somebody were to be sitting down somewhere in Bon Country, they say the beginning, say, hey, we're sitting down on my way to Lofa to the during the elections. During a power, group of people came to me, they were saying something. They say, hey, although I'm talking about weird, so not being to me say, but people are you're running campaign. So the message I supporting Cummings will not get nothing. You're running campaign. Then for us, then I think because I said to him, I said the way to do it is that your political leader will send you. I said the reason why your puppet gets no problem. When your puppet can't in play, the first thing you should do, he did everything, take power for inside drinking, start talking to the young people. But your puppet can't like to be straight diplomatic. They cooperate in you can be cooperating and be political. Change the thing. Yeah. Ali, you understand that brand politics. You have to do it like them. Manasari, when she ready to speak of Korokwa, she would speak it like you think I would never. You would think that she grew up all her life in Yukutan or in West Point, but no, she didn't. I was say elite, but how you think she merged herself with the system? So you have to do that. So you guys got some work to do. I want to put comments back up there. You have to re-engage firmly, be sincere, and be authentic with the people and bring people that will align with the other people that will be around. Don't bring those people as if I have to buy it now. So anyway, you start running away. You can't eat that question. They say American citizens. People say, yes, yeah. I will end here.
I said coming for you.
The man and I catch you to the border and say American. They say, come go bring American citizens in the car and get paid for the voting. So you got to teach it. I know you're bringing for yourself, Pewee, not American people. But I was about to buy American citizens, and American people right there. They say, oh, I was saying you're not
The man coming for you.
It is back by fire. Kiani, let's look at this here. We just saw a terrible thing in the House. Where if we have, I'm talking about the legislature now, where if we had the like of Mr. Cummings, his leadership in the legislature, there's something in American politics they call the power of one. A man of his stature in the Senate or in the House, wherever he is, could have made a major difference. Cummings says the only place he can be is the presidency. Is he regretting now? Can we assume that Cummings is regretting because he could have made a difference? If he were there, his followers wouldn't have absconded, wouldn't have been, like you said, deviant. Now look where we are because he refused to be in the legislature, and we are missing the leadership that he has. What do you have to say to the Liberian people who feel that he let them down? He could have made a big difference in the legislature.
Yeah, so I think nobody will have to regret considering the mixture of people we have in the legislature. But now people will be saying that Mr. Cummings now all put the Capitol building on fire. That's the kind of thing we're coming to be discussing here. Probably he would have been talking about going sleep in RLJ or sleeping in Borova Palace and all the kind of conversation. So the Liberian legislature is an embarrassment because there's a legislature who, by all function, should be a distinct branch of government, exercising oversight over the executive, scrutinizing instruments that will benefit the Liberian people. But there's the legislature that is forcing itself as an auxiliary to the executive, that whatever happens there should be sanctioned in the executive mansion. That is not the kind of legislature that Cummings would have been proud of. And anyone who stands tall to say, look, let us remain independent as legislature, let us not fight to have a regime speaker or a regime potent, they will see you as not being political. And you know what that means. Either you'll be suspended or they see certain benefit from you and all the kind of things. So Liberia is designed with an imperial presidency. Only the president can change this country, considering the mixture of people and the architecture around the legislature. One of the American presidents said something, I think that Abraham Lincoln. He says, for a country to be developed, the leadership at the very top must be committed to the progress of the nation. One of the countries that have moved in some progressive direction, take Africa as a case study. He has always been a president. You go Rwanda, people mention Paul Kagame. You come, people mention Jerry Rawlings in Ghana for the time he served in Ghana. People are talking about Traoré in Burkina Faso. In Liberia, if the president wants a country to move in a certain progressive direction, people will follow suit. But if the president himself started talking about gentleman agreement, if the president himself started pardoning people and giving them benefits and say go and steal no more, it becomes problematic. So Mr. Kumi will not have regret why he's not in the legislature, because that body is a useless body in my view, considering the role they have played. A body that is fighting to be a subsidiary of an executive power, a speaker who is on record saying, I'm a regime speaker, it undermines the very functionality under the Constitution, that you should be independent. You should provide oversight. What kind of oversight will a regime speaker be providing over the executive? So that is not a mixture of people that look at the passion some of the people carrying the legislature. Look at Amara, for example. Most time you get frustrated the way the people pass the budget. If you want to scrutinize things and follow details, you say, my man, they may not clear. They put you on side. So everything about them is politics. It's not even law. It's not even procedures. So only the president can shape the country in a particular direction. If you have an organized president, you have a hands-on president who knows what he wants, the country will move in some direction. And that is my opinion. It can be argued. But I think with the people and the way we elect lawmakers, we need a president who can be able to move the country in a certain direction, irrespective of the people who have elected, because they are proven to be dishonored men, even though they insist that we should call them honorable, while most of them are horrible. We can't say anybody is regretting to be part of the national legislature.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition, special edition with the young folks. Well, you know, I went to I counted a lot in January, and I went to one of the youth caucus meeting, and some of the youth were 47, 45, 44. So I guess Joseph Walker would be youth to my mother-in-law. She's 91, he 81. So he's a youth compared to my mother-in-law. So everybody's a youth wherever you go. Mr. Kelly, thank you. You can hang around while we talk national issue. Let me start this one with Honorable Pewee.
So I think I don't know how long I can hold on, because I was supposed to leave by 11:30.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Aliu Kiadi. He is the Secretary General of the Youth Movement, the youth wing of the ANC. 1 minute with your parting words, and we'll let you go, and then we'll go on to our national politics.
So I want to say thank you for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure to be on this platform to talk to our people. Thank you to Siliki, who reached out to me making this possible. We look forward to coming here to discuss national issues, to talk about governance, to talk about how do we improve the living condition of our people, talk about realistic things. Because the poverty and the material conditions of the people are not things that can be well washed by propaganda. That is why when I see the party people saying class reloaded, when people are hungry, there's no amount of propaganda can tell them that a stomach full. Hungry man is hungry man. If you tell the man say opposition tell you say you hungry and you're gulful, that is nonsense. So they're wasting their time on that show. The reality will sink in, and we will always be here to tell our people the truth in the country. They can decide to establish whatever platform, but the reality is the reality. They are few in providing jobs. They are few in addressing the Zogos, according to those who are falling victim of a socially condemned livelihood. They are few to handle maternal mortality. They are failed to improve business conditions. They are failed to attract foreign direct investment. These are real issues. These are not political issues. So we say thank you to the platform. We look forward to coming back here. And thank you very much, Mr. Coleman, Gaiman, and Mr. Nangwe, Mr. Pewee, Madam Sarah. Thank you very much, Sidiki. This is where I live.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
brother.
very much.
Thank you very much, man. It was great having you.
Thank you.
Okay,
and
thank
we
you.
look forward to see you another time. Thank you. Mr. Pewee, this is your area, and I have to begin with you. Our nation is mourning. We lost the First Lady, Nancy Doe. Today, she died from what I understand from a protracted illness. The country is in mourning. the wife of the late Samuel K. Doe, the mother, once mother of the country, first lady of the country. We are mourning. What says the?
Yeah, this is a big loss to the country. On a serious note, we have to send our deepest condolences to the Doe family concerning the demise of our very beautiful and former first lady of our country. This first lady spoke directly to the ordinary market women when she got the opportunity at the time when her husband took over after the coup. If you can recall, and we all, there's this video that went viral about where he, when this famous Nigerian journalist at the time did an interview with President Doe, or at the time Master Sergeant Samuel Kaya Doe. She was sitting there very disorientated. You could see the both of them in a very disorientated mood, his hand on her shoulder. That was a trademark photo that came out at the time. That was 1980, immediately after the coup. And ever since then, she have metamorphosed into different kind of feature, if you will. She came up to be the glamorous, very attractive first lady that did most of our kind of a African attired from a very attractive position, if you will. During the occasions at the executive mansion and all the areas where she would visit, and she initiated the market on the 8th Street there, the Jabbertown Market. It was named after her as the Nessie B. Doe Market, all those things, part of her major legacy that she left behind. So it's a major loss of the country, and I hope she'll be given, I don't know if the procedure, but yeah, she's entitled to that, to have a state funeral. She died. My understanding is that I stand to be because she died in London, or in England, if you will. So the government of Liberia will have to take responsibility of this. I hope they shouldn't politicize this process, because I listened to her several times complaining about not money, and as it's been portrayed, not money that for husband that is, or in bank for the husband, no, but money that were entitled to her husband as a former president of the country and all. Since she went to the ECOWAS court during the Madame Salif administration. I think Madame Salif, she started during the Taylor administration. Taylor even invited, there was a conversation between she and the then former president Charles Gange Taylor. She and Dr. Taylor met. They had some very good conversation. Moving on, he made some commitment to her, but she's continuously went complain about this benefit, husband benefit, and all of things. I don't know the entire story if that was settled before her demise, but it's quite a bit tragic situation, and the rest of that. She will be remembered of one of the first leader of our country that directly spoke to the ordinary people and the illiterate market women, if you will, they call them. Themselves, they're proud of that. I'm a son of a market woman, as myself. My mother went through the same process. So I mean, she's a mother figure that spoke directly, appealed to most of our marketers and the rest of that, and she will be remembered of the kind of way she spoke her English directly, right? And sometimes there's this joke that sometimes we had to perform. There's this joke given that came out that said, someone told her, then one of her dress, because she's a beautiful woman, very attractive in dressing and the rest of that, and they said, Madam, first lady, you look fantastic. And then there's this statement that she took that word, and everything was doing the Coca-Cola static and this tag, the other kind of line. So there's this thing, I don't know, I didn't attend that, but just this kind of line. But she struggled in really putting the Queen's language together, and then she but she was a very great first lady, and as I said, her trademark was to speak directly to the marketers, and something that she did very well. So she will be remembered for her service to the country, and particularly where today one of the morning markets we have in the country, she initiated that. and the rest of the husband initiated that. She and her husband did that, and the rest of that. Unfortunately, the husband got killed in a very tragic way. Something she was still moving up to current, and she said that trauma with her and her children, all those things. So she's going to be remembered. I hope the government will appropriately give her the befitting funeral that she deserves as a former first lady, and there will be in that official gazette that will be issued by the government of Liberia. They would want to put all those things there. So I want to believe sincerely they have most of the actors currently playing major role in government from Nigeria and other part of the country also, that will show that she's been given the appropriate and befitting funeral that's required of her status as a former first lady. And to close here, that if the government then didn't meet that threshold of giving the retirement package of a late husband, that should be actually given. We will have to respect the rule of law. That's part of anything, because at the end of the day, 1985, he was democratically elected. He was pronounced the winner of the 85 elections, so he was democratically elected as the president of our country, but was tragically killed by a warlord that himself died in a more peaceful way, and the rest of that. So I would think that we should honor her, and if the husband money have not been given, we should give that to the children.
Great. Sarah,
Yeah.
what do you remember about Nancy Doe, who she was, her contribution to our society, and her lasting legacy?
Well, I want to personally say my condolences to the family, to her children. I remember her as a very beautiful young first lady back in the days. Like Pewee said, with the struggle with, speaking, the Queen's language, but whatever she wanted to say was, well understood by her people, regardless of how it came out. So it's disappointing that, I don't know, some of the governments, I think her concerns, even the problem she had with that money that she took to ECOWAS, that case she took to ECOWAS and won. I think the CDC government was supposed to even pay her. I don't know. I think they did not. And this government said they were going to. And I don't know up to this point how it has been. And a lot of things I'm very, very sure happened that caused, her to grieve a lot. And knowing her age as well also played a factor in it. So, one of her lines I remember is what the one she said about something like that. That was one of my favorite lines with her. And even nowadays when I'm talking to some of my librarians, I say, you like it, something like it, stuff like that. So these are things we'll remember her for. I think she had a good sense of humor as well. So I just want to say condolences, my condolences to the family, to her kids, to the people of Grand Gilead. And I hope her death will not divide them. It will unite them as a county. And, moving forward, they will be able to continue to champion the cause of the people of Grand Gilead. Thank you.
Pewee, the people of Grand Gilead County is the county that voted numerically, percentage-wise, for the CDC. And they felt very, very, very disgruntled that CDC did not reciprocate that love and affection. How do you think, what part should CDC play?
Is that a subjective statement or objective statement?
No, it is. I'm saying, what should the former president, as a statesman now, play in the demise?
No, you said they failed. That's what I'm asking. Did they complain to you like that?
Yes.
I think, I don't know. I think it was a lost opportunity on a serious note if the CDC Liberia administration did not settle her claim at the time, because she had to run to the ECOWAS code and all those things. And she came, I can remember vividly, there was an interaction, she was on radio with Clarence Jackson, and Clarence asked this question to her about, Clarence posted the question that, hey, your husband and the current president, they had a very good relationship in terms of the football thing. And she said, I was so, and all that thing. I thought, and that at that conversation between she and Clarence, after that, I tuned that morning, My conclusion moving forward was that I've thought the government will have just settled this issue about her concern and other things she was pushing through. But if what we see here, and I've said to be corrected here, if it is not true that the administration didn't settle, there was quite frankly a lot of opportunity and very unfortunate if it didn't happen.
I heard they did make some payments though.
So that's how I say if and for my first section I said that I don't know if the government settled her because she won the court, and we have promised President we have then promised that they will look into it and do some payment to her for her husband on it. And then you're right, and beyond the Nigerians doing, and it's just part of the justification why Nigeria manifested their vote in 2005, in 2011, in 2017, and that of 2023. The pattern of voting didn't change. It's consistent. The Nigerian voted Mr. Weah and the CDC very handsomely, bigly, if you will. So if they didn't do it, it's a lost opportunity. I thought they should have done it if it didn't happen. But if they did it again, good job. But we'll get the rest of the story. Now that she's dead, unfortunately, we're going to hear from the family. We're going to hear issue about if this statement for the benefit from a former husband who, of course, died in a very tragic way. It didn't come. She have to move through. She struggled on this for a very long time, protracted period of time. She did during the Taylor time, because I followed it very closely, and I can recall Mr. Taylor, she and Mr. Taylor, they met. And quite frankly, Mr. Taylor invited her at the executive mansion. They had a very good conversation. She came out and even commended the president. Mr. Taylor even said they're going to give us some role to play and all things. I don't know. And then she was back and forth from the United Kingdom and the rest of that. But yes, that relationship between the party and that of her and the county, her county, I think was very good. And the Nigerians, I don't think if they're going to change that phase of voting for Mr. Weah, but that we'll hope and see. I don't think that that relationship they're going to sever the relationship. I don't want to believe so. The Nigerians are still very consistent in recent history. Also, they've been giving the vote to him. In terms of that, it's just out kind of a politics, if you will, but. I thought that he was very magnanimous to have met with her, and there were some good interactions, and she spoke well of him also when she appeared with Clarence during those days. So we wouldn't speak to anything definitively while we don't have all of the necessary informations relative to the conclusion of the payment of the sovereign benefit of a late husband, if you will. But her demise will have to tell us a lot more from the family, and then we'll get more information on that. But I think the Weah administration, Weah himself, very key on that. And again, the reason people will say, okay, Nigeria voted, why didn't it happen? In the government, the cake is that's how people want to put in that part of cake. And you can't come now as president, you want to say, okay, because the people voted me, I will just focus on that and abandon the rest of the country. So the path is such that the revenue generation process is narrow. So we have to take time as to, and everyone is hanging on it, right? So you have to take time as to appropriate those resources in the country, and you balance it in a way and manner that you wouldn't feel a particular region or particular county. So I think that's what the government did. They tried to balance. And Sarah would love to hear these things I'm saying. So
no, I said people don't understand it that way.
Yeah, but again, that's the reality there. And people always think they
that's just what quickly. I'm saying. That's what you see.
Even Gamer to be president today of the country, trust me. People will think, oh, Gamer, okay, grandpa. No, it's not that way.
Exactly.
We have to go through the consolidated process. We see how many money the consolidated did that. And when the budget is passed, then we start to apportion them this way, that way. But I thought the president, vision was to not only to make sure there's paved road into those areas and other things, but farm to market roads, and agricultural activity is being carried out there, and empower them also to different spheres of life and other things. But it's a very difficult and very tight terrain. Governance is different if you're outside.
One day CMC will get there.
It's different when you're outside.
Mr. Victor Namwe.
I don't see you already there.
Don't mind the CDC folks. Mr. Namwe, we just lost the mother, one of the former mothers of the country, Nancy Doe. Your take on her legacy and her struggle, her successes, her grief, and the Grand Jury folks that voted that have been very loyal, the most loyal county to the CDC. And under their watch, this woman was not made whole. And she's this is where we are. What should the CDC do, or what should?
But quickly, before Mr. Namigan coming quickly, even this current president, the current president is serving out of capacity.
That's
Under the
right.
Hospital.
From side by side.
In a lot of
They
areas.
agriculture
Minister, agriculture minister, LPMC, all those areas. So go ahead.
You see, Pewee, you see, I didn't call nobody name here, and they won't say I'm talking about.
Mr. Gemma will tell you for the moderator position because you're not saying it.
So you talking about who, Sidiki?
CDC.
So look, may God rest us. So deepest sympathy to the family, to Liberia, to the people of Garguah. I think this woman was what is described as a victim of circumstance. President Doe brought her into the limelight. She was always in the shadows, and then he left. And when he left her, I think, unprepared for what was to come. I mean, look, for a long time, a lot of us thought the Vamoma house belonged to G. Alvin Jones. Little did we know that was actually part of the family property. So when the president left, she's been fighting all kinds of battles. In Manezo Peno, I think a relative of the president's, wanted to take over the president, become the executor of the president, whatever the president left behind, and completely trying to sideline the legal, beneficiary of the president. And so she has been fighting even for him to be given the decent burial that she thought he deserved. Even as late as a few months ago, she and Emmanuel Peno were still fighting over, who should be the proper person to decide on these matters. As Sarah and Sylvester have mentioned, she went to various presidents, Ellen Johnson, President Doe did a lot to bring President Weah to prominence. It was under President Weah that Diba and Weah really flourished because the president had, I think he used to call Weah his son. And so a lot of people were shocked that President Weah came in, and yet he was not able to help the former president, the former first lady. She had to go.
Point of correction. He did help. He did help her personally. That ECOWAS case. Yes. I understand there was some amount that was given. Now
18 million. 18 million. Yeah, should have been. Okay. So then let me say it didn't happen enough. It didn't happen enough.
Honorable Name,
yes.
I will not let Sarah get away with this. Sarah gave me some numbers. What did the government do? You said they get some money. What money? Now you're talking like you on the cloud reloaded. Give me some number. Let me know, Joe. We are gave her 1,500,000 something on this day.
What I do know is
I want to quote you. I want to quote you.
The way Mr. Nangwe is saying that we are abandoned that woman, that's not true.
Well,
personally help her. The case with the ECOWAS case was not settled by the government. That is correct. But personally, he did not abandon her. No.
Well, let me ask you, Sarah. You think $18 million that would be problem for we have to give her because the ECOWAS were whatever $18 million?
It had to come. That's weird personal money you going to give her.
I understand that, but you think the weird government could not find $18 million to give to Nessie?
Well, I don't know what the circumstances surrounding that is, so I cannot speak to that. I mean, I don't think it's something that they could not have done, but looking at the circumstances surrounding it, I don't know.
Okay, but anyway, so the bottom line is she never got the help that she saw. Even look, she was battling her own legal representatives. The lawyers who represented her. She had to take them to court because they were demanding so much out of her. So I think her life was just a life of misery and struggles and disappointment. Lately, I saw she and the kids were on TV. I mean, we're on the current president now. I think he was trying to do something with them. Even then, Emmanuel Peno was still intruding, So it is unfortunate, but you know what? God bless her soul. May she rest in peace. Then let her go and take a rest. I think she suffered long enough, and I hope, like you all said here, I hope she'll be accorded the necessary state, you know, burial, so that she can go to rest in dignity and peace.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Let's look at one thing real quick. When Mr. Pewee comes back, we'll look at this. There was some breaking news on the international scene yesterday. Ivory Coast tap. This is from the ABC, BBC network here. The Ivory Coast top general was assassinated in Abidjan, and people thought it was a coup, attempted coup, and all that stuff. We'll discuss it later on. But let's talk about the salary for our civil servant in Liberia. We talked about it briefly yesterday, that according to the international investigation that was done, a civil servant in Liberia is making $100 gross. So poorly paid.
Wow.
That the folks cannot even pay their rent. They say they often go hungry on the job. Some walk to work. And Martin Colley printed somebody's pay stub. The person take home pay was $87.
Wow.
If that person were paying $2 or $3 a day to go to work and come back, you multiply it by 20 days that it worked, that's $60 just to go to work and back. If your net pay is $87, you take out that $60, so you are actually now bringing home $27 a month. So this brings us to this topic. 2 prison officers connive with a convicted fellow murderer to sell drugs at the Monroe City prison. I'm not saying it's right, but when people are desperate, they can do all kinds of stuff. Mr. Namwe, two employees of the government connive with a convicted murderer.
He just heard you. You got to repeat.
Yes, to sell narcotics at the Monroe City prison. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm not saying they should do it, but desperate people can do desperate things. Your take on this?
No, that's true. What is it? Necessity is mother of all invention, right? If you are up against the war, you have to find a way to bounce back. And most of our people are up against the war. The people are there's real hardship in Liberia. I mean, we all lived there. I went to high school, and I know what it means not to be with $1, to be without a penny. I used to walk from 21st Street in Fiamma and go to Tomalin High School, and people are still doing that, and there's a lot of suffering going on in Liberia, I see and hear our friends on the Reloader. If you listen to them, you think everything is peachy. You will never know that people are actually suffering in Liberia. But of course, some of them, their generator can probably pay the salary of 3 or 4 of those of our people for a year. So just the generator fuel, but yeah, there's real suffering. And the sad thing is there are some people who are really willing to work. They just don't have the opportunity to do so. And then there is the unfortunate reality that there are people who are actually the working poor. They're working, they go to work every day, and yet it's as if they're not working. And most of these people work for government. The government came in to rescue our people. I don't see the urgency on their part to do so. They're still, casting the same numbers, setting a $150 minimum wage and all of that. Is that really a livable wage? How many of them can actually live on $150 a month? And some of these people have families. Look, I was in town a couple of weeks ago, and one of the guys, security guy, his poor daughter could not find $3,500 Liberian dollars to pay what they call, flexibility fee, I think, something like that, for the National Examination Council. And this guy is working, It's around $20. The little girl almost there now, you know. So the real problems people are faced with, and to think with all of this, the budget, 87% of this budget go to salary and recurring expenditure and phone call and generator fuel, you know, and jolly. When the majority of the people are suffering, it really boggles my mind. I think all of us here are trying to figure it out. We can't. So yes, you will find these kind of things happening. People will go to extraordinary means to make ends meet because doing the right thing now is proving like almost impossible to make it happen for most of our people. And so they're gonna go through all kinds of you know extracurricular means, if I should say, to make ends meet. But this is our reality.
Sarah,
yeah, Mr. Gamer, it's so sad. It is so sad. One of my nephew called me one time, and he and I was talking. He said he was doing a security job. So I asked him, I said, how much you getting from the security job? He said, pay him $80. So he said, but they recently said he told me
That's about the average. That's about the average pay. Exactly, you're right.
He told me he told me he was going to leave the job because he had to walk from home. If he doesn't walk, then he have to take get transportation, and he was spending like $60. So imagine what he was getting to. I told him, I said, leave the job. I told you, I said, I was sending you money to do business. I told you, I said, leave the job. I said, you can find something to do. He said, yeah. I said, I will send you money to do business. Leave the job. So this is just to show you the kind of things that our people are going through. And then you have people who come together and put themselves together. They call it cash reloaded. Coming to come lie to the Liberian people instead of sitting down to address these concerns. Oh, telling the Liberian people trivial things that doesn't even pour bread, that doesn't even pour bread and butter on the tables. Okay, the offensive roles, you're doing it. These are things that the previous government do. You come to the Liberian people to brag about this thing. You have to do more than what the previous government did in order to brag. But all the things you're talking are things that previous government did. You have done nothing different. You know? So I mean, it's so sad. And the very finance minister came one time and said, "Oh, nobody will make less than 150." Tell me now, isn't that lies? Then when we say they can lie, they say we too negative, we too this, we this. But tell the Liberian people the truth. Y'all say y'all are going to harmonize the salary. Y'all are going to make sure that no Liberian make less than 150, or y'all going to bump. In fact, y'all say y'all told the people that y'all are going to harmonize that harmonization. Y'all going to get rid of it and increase people's salary. Where is the increment? Where? If people just come and lie to the people because they want to get in power, at the end of the day, they come put themselves together. They say they come into account, read low lies, because that's all it is. They're not doing anything different for our people. It's just sad, Mr. Gateman. It's sad.
Sarah, you are a health provider in this country. It says here, according to the report, most health workers in Liberia surveyed make between $100 and $150 per month with no recent wage adjustment with this new government, and an inflation continuing to rise. Those salaries. Some nurses are skipping meals.
Yeah.
Walking long distances to work and postponing rent payment. Many are turning to informal loans.
Wow.
So this is what we are doing. Some people are so desperate now that they are turning to doing something that are. Now you tell me, a nurse that's supposed to give me an IV, that's supposed to do all of these things, right?
Yep.
She is so hungry she can barely stand. How does that work? You are in the nursing field now. You the nurse. Can you just imagine? Can you fathom that a nurse has skipped meals?
I'm telling you. I mean, it's just, Mr. Gilman, it is sad. It is sad. I don't know what else to say, because look, my older sister was sick a couple of months ago. She's diabetic. So, you know, because of all of these things, some people in the community want to help. They don't have the resources. They don't have the qualification, but they just, get a little clinic and thing in the area and stuff like that. So her daughter called me, my niece called me and said, oh, your sister said this and that. So I said, but what happened? She said, her sugar went on her. I took her somewhere. So I said, where you took her? She said she took her to something at the clinic in the area. I was on that phone asking wherever she took my sister to, whoever it was that was treating her, what she was doing. Because first of all, when she went there, she said, oh, they come and check her. I said, don't get my sister drip. I said, do not get her drip. So I told her, I said, let me talk to whoever that was in the clinic. I told her, I said, check her sugar first, do her vitals first. Let's see what her numbers are. I mean, I had to learn it, educate that woman as my sister was in our clinic. So after they got the results and everything, my sister's sugar was actually high. I told her, I said, take her to Cali Hospital. The lady didn't have any, she didn't have no insulin, she didn't have no metformin, nothing whatsoever. Blood sugar high, pressure high. I told her, I said, please take my sister. I told the niece, I said, take her to Catholic. So the desperation, the issues that our people are facing, that these people are supposed to be discussing, they leave it because it has to do with them making bold decisions. It has to do with them cutting down their salaries in order to put some of this money, these payments or these leftovers in things that will cater to the needs of our people. They don't want to do that. So they will come and say, oh, we're doing roads. We the people that you can go get your passport to the Ministry of Finance in 3 days, you can get all that kind of stuff. Is that what putting bread on the table of our people? No. Does that help somebody who making $100 to make $150 or $250? No, they don't care about that. But this is the problem we have.
Robert, welcome. We have a situation here where two officers, police officers that worked at the Monroe City Prison connived with a convicted felon, a murderer, and they were selling drugs in the prison system.
Are they actually police officers or prison officers? Correction officers.
Yeah, prison officers. They are all law enforcement officers anyway. But anyhow, we are talking about the desperation of our people. According to the article I just read, the survey, that even the health worker, they are even worse. That it is so bad that health worker, they say Liberia's health system, 97% on the verge of collapse. And they talked about how nurses are going hungry, they are walking, they are skipping meals. I mean, the condition is that deplorable. Some are making $100 gross. After taxes, they bring home about $87 a month. I'm not saying this is an excuse for these guys to do things that are illegal to make ends meet. But Pewee, when you are desperate, people do all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You were part of the government. We are all been here. This thing been going on for ages. Where does it end? When does it start? What are some of the prescriptions you were advising Robert Garguah, president of Liberia? What would you advise? How because Garguah went on here and said, under our administration, nobody's going to go home with less than $150.
You know, it is, and the conversation is just on, and I've been saying that time back, and the only way we can move Liberia forward is to have a bold leader that will be fearless in terms of implementing policy like that. But for the finance minister to come and say things and no one will do this, and you still have people in the country getting $60, $80 and all of things, leave that. For us to change anything is for the president to wake up one morning and come up and say, moving forward, the first thing here is that you have an open cabinet meeting on the camera. And announcing that cabinet meeting that we will begin the process of enforcing the rule of law and sticking to issue in this country. The first thing we'll say to the health minister, you go that Trump can do here, from minister to minister, right? You hit the health minister. I say, man, the health minister moving forward, nobody whatsoever. If you are working with the JFK, no medical doctor working with JFK will have their personal clinic or other thing. We have to find a line to find things to cut that line, hire other people. Because part of the reason of corruption in the health sector is that most of our top doctors in JFK, they got their personal clinics. You know what they do? Time will come when a clinic patient going to refer the patient to the area to go there and pay on the private ward and pay more money, other things. So meaning they don't pay more time to JFK. They don't even come on call to JFK. And then once we have major emergency at night, most of the folks are unfortunate with that because the doctors are home paying attention to their personal clinic or home. When the drug is in from the pharmacy, most of them that got the contact and the connection, in JFK and other areas, when the drugs come to the country through the National Drugs Agency issue, they take some of those drugs to their personal areas. So to change that bureau, we have to have a president that is bold and wanting to implement that fearlessly. And we'll set an example, even in the space of his minister or so. The president will have to come and tell the police director, even if my son violate traffic proceeding, arrest him.
A leader like Abraham Traore.
Yeah, arrest him. Then you will see the country gradually getting on the path of doing something. We have had leaders saying nobody will do that. I think it's a difficult thing to the extent that you see correctly, and the Liberian people are not stupid. That's why we say nobody's stupid here. The people are not stupid, right? What's going to happen? And do you see the reason why you see the guy coming by the regrouping of the class reload that thing? That's a problem. And just follow the class reload and follow the comments. I want to believe they would think that it's not a good thing they started so. So they will have to do a lot of job. Things are tough in the country.
Yeah.
You see the prison area, right? The guys are conniving with prison guy and prisoners. They are not conniving to do those things. And then you also see in other area of public service, this is not a very good thing for us. The signs are not good. So, Mr. President, we have to be very firm here. Most of those guys you see on the class reload and are doing those things, doing these things, these are guys that's trying to support and defend the lavish life they are living. They're trying to support and defend that. They're defending that. That's the reason why they're going to class reloaded. So the way to do things for me is for them to re-strategize and re-engage their communication strategy. Oh, that's not going to help them. You can even give $2 million, this amount of money. If things are not the way we expect it to be in the country, for the people to see things, it's not going to. The red we are time, they themselves mock the red we are time. But now what is happening at the red we are time, I don't see some red now on the baka. Right? The rate we are time or even better. So the rate is skyrocketing. How do you change that narrative? You think Clarity is the right platform to discuss that? No. I mean, it is good that they can even use surrogates from outside. They even try to help them if they are improving it. But that platform is not a real platform. It's going to be a counterproductive platform that's going to use. I mean, it's not going to be a good thing for them. So we have to change it. Cool the country off a little bit. Things are tough.
It's tough.
Things are tough, my dear brother. If people are not getting that money, imagine you paying people $65, $80, $100. They are not getting paid on time.
I tell you.
Imagine what is $100. If our vest now you different when you go say I want to have a glass of one, what kind of glass you need to take. Just one shot of those things sometimes. If I go sit down somewhere, just say maybe I want to go to a local sport bar. If I were to call for 2 Campari shot or 3 Campari shot, almost the $100 gonna go.
Yep.
Right? But imagine $100 the man's working for the whole month.
Sad.
He's not gonna get it on time.
Sad.
How you expect that man? That man will have to pay. Then how do you want to curb or stem corruption? What's the intent? What's the strategy behind that? But everybody want to be partisan thing. We too much into the partisan thing. And that's why for me, I'm reaching a level now that sometimes when it's right, trust me, honestly, I will come and say it's right.
That's right.
But when it's wrong, I will always say it's wrong. But we can't always, because we're in there, want to protect it. Look at those people saying that Deputy Minister for State of Presidential Affairs, then there. Press secretary, they have it kind of going on land. and see the way the people dealing with them.
Well, all of them
they are getting panicked. They believe 2029 is going to be a panic night by 2029. But trust me, the people will remind them of something.
Bravo Garguah, welcome. Mr. Garguah, is he listening?
Mr. Garguah.
Oh,
you
I had no idea I was on. I've been in the back for 30 minutes waiting to come on. I didn't know I was on.
Oh, you joking?
But you've been on ever since.
I've been in the back for 30. Look at the chat. I sent a message in.
Oh, I did. Oh my God, yeah.
But I had no idea I was on. I'm so sorry.
I saw
okay. You've been on for a while now.
You bet. I tell you,
you thought you were based on the computer. That was on here.
No, I tell you were showing off your nice suit.
No. I had no idea I was on. I didn't know I was on.
Yeah, you've been on more than 15 minutes now.
Yeah,
I had forgotten that I was. No, I had no idea I was on. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, but those guys got to do better, man. People cannot be on for 30 minutes. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. I'm sorry to even bring it up on the show, but I mean, you folks cannot come on and it's just in the back for 25, 30 minutes. This is absurd, man. We got to do better. We got to do better than that.
But who's supposed to bring you on?
I think Gateman should have access to bring folks on because he's actively on the show. But for folks to leave their business schedule and come on and they're just in the back for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, that's not good at all. Let's get back to the show. I'm sorry.
Yes, we're going to address that. It has happened over a few days now. People are coming and they're leaving because when they come in as guests. Yesterday, some guy said he was back there he went to the studio and nobody was there. So I think there's a lot going on. We're gonna sort it out. But we're talking about several things here. We're talking about the passing of the first lady, the former first lady Nancy Doe, and then we have two prison officers conniving with a convicted murderer, and they begin to peddle drugs at the Monroe City Prison. And then we want to pivot back to yesterday when we're talking about the salary of these government employees in these agencies making little or nothing. Some making $100, $150. After tax, they're bringing home $60, $70. And then they spend $2 a day, $2 a day to go to work. And they work 20 days a week or 20 days a month. So that's $40, $60 out of the $87 to bring it home. So actually they are netting $27 a month. We are not excusing this behavior, but people are desperate. And the 87, they're not even getting the monthly. Sometimes they are late. Sometimes, I mean, it is terrible. And this is not partisan. We don't want people to say we're beating on Joseph. This is not a partisan thing. This is just a bureaucracy. I mean, something that has been happening and nobody seems to do anything. They just talk about the executive and the legislative body and everybody else on their own. Your take on any of these issues?
Well, first, my condolences to the Jackson family. Give me a second, okay? I'll come back. Come back in 5 minutes. My condolences to the Jackson family. May God console them.
What Jackson family?
The Jackson or Doe family?
Oh, not the Doe family. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking of who the Jackson.
He's off. The man's so upset, man.
Is that a Jackson 5?
No, you're talking about Jackson Doe. Jackson Doe.
When you stay in the back, Mr. Number for that long, it messes with your focus, man.
That's correct.
Yeah, my condolences to the Doe family. I always say, I don't know what I would do if I were to lose a loved one like a mother. I don't know, to be honest. And so whenever I hear these sad news, I don't care how old one is or how sick one is, you never want to lose a loved one, especially not a mother. So my condolences to them. They're in my prayers, and I hope that God really gave them strength through this process. I mean, of course, there are lots of questions about You know, were she given the kind of benefits that she was constitutionally allowed? I think I was listening off on the side, and Sylvester was going over that. And these are things that I think we need to address, uh, especially regardless of how we may feel about uh, the leadership of a leader. I think it's important that if the law says what the law says, it's important that we respect the law and give them, what they deserve. Give them, let the family benefit from what the laws requires that they benefit from. I think a lot of issues with her health came up, and there were times where the family just did not have the resources to, afford her the kind of health care that she needed. In addition to the very, very sick and poor healthcare system in our country. And I heard Sylvester talk about whatever the government owes them, at least should be given to the children. I'm sure that the children are grown enough to take care of themselves. I think what they would have wanted most was to be able to spend more time with the mother, and in order to do that, she needed to be taken care of. And so I think that's something that we have to really and truly take a look at, yeah, man. How are we treating the wives of our former leaders? How are we treating our former leaders? Are we treating them with respect and dignity, even if they don't deserve it? That's what the law says. These are people that are elected. These are people that we elect. And so obviously, you and I may not agree with their leadership. You and I may not think that they deserve the benefits, but we elect them, and as such, I think it's important that we respect the laws with regards to what their benefits are, and that it is given to them in a timely manner. Which brings me to, the fact that what these people are making. I heard you talk about $60. And this is not to boast or to flex, but I wish $60. Imagine, think about it, just put that in perspective. $60 is nothing. $60 is I mean it's look, in many it's an insult. It's an insult to the profession of our people and what they do, the sacrifices that they make. Imagine taking home, even that's a round up to $100. Imagine taking home 100. What is $100? What can $100 do?
I'll tell you.
What can $100 do? And $100 might be a lot of money to people who can afford it, but I don't believe that no working person should walk away with $100 every month. I mean, these people have families of some of them 10. Some of them have 2, 3 children to send to school. They have uniforms to purchase. They have books to purchase. They have extra hours curriculum. I mean, what can $100 do? This is the reason why a lot of these folks are in positions that they're in to defend the indefensible. This is the reason why you see them support mediocrity. This is the reason why these are things. These are the things that these things breed, and it's an insult. $60, $60 cannot even fill my tank. This is bad. But again, man, I'll close on this note. Maybe, just maybe, our people love this stuff. Because if you don't love what's happening to you, and by the way, these government officials are making thousands of dollars. These government officials, it is on the backs of taxpayers that they drive the cars that they would have never been able to afford without being given the opportunity to serve in a position that they're serving. And on top of that, they're not even performing. They're not performing. But the people who actually get the work done, the people who put in all of the time, the sacrifices, are going home with chicken change. What can $60 or $70 do for a man who has to support his wife, make sure his kids got food to eat, make sure he sent them to get a decent quality education? This is an insult. But again, maybe this is what they like. Because if you don't like your condition, why would you continue to elect and support this very folks who approve of this kind of stuff that you're going through? Why would you do that? Why? And so maybe they love it. Maybe they love it. Just maybe they love it. And if they do love it, who are we to continue to talk about these things when the very people whose lives are impacted? I'm not taking home $60 every month. I wouldn't even take $5,000 every month in Liberia. I won't do it. I won't.
But Mr. Garguah, let me push back a little bit here. The last election, the senatorial election, the Liberian people did very well. They fired 13 of the 15 senators. They clean house. And the new one that came up worse than the last ones. What choice? The people are doing that. Sometimes they clean house. They sack everybody. And then a new group come in and they are even more corrupt.
Yeah, but if like I said, you point out, old wines to replace it with even more aspire wines. It's not effective. So it's not about the fact that they've cleared house. Yes, they clear house, but who are those that they are replacing the bad boys with? If you continue to recircle, what they've done is we've continued to recircle politicians. You take one bad apple and you replace him with 10 bad apples. I mean, the characteristic does not change, right? And if the characteristic does not change, if the quality does not change, if the caliber of folks that you are replacing the bad apples with does not change, then you get the same results or even worse results, right? And so, yes, we give them credit for changing, for clearing house, but perhaps we need to look at the caliber, the quality of folks that they are replacing these folks with. Clearly, it hasn't worked. So if we're giving them credit for just replacing, almost like saying, well, we got rid of President Weah. But look at who we replaced President Weah with. We replaced President Weah with Unity Party that had 12 years of the same mess that they've introduced now, and almost 2 years into their administration, it hasn't worked. The economy hasn't worked. They found on the economy. The rate was 200 when they didn't like it under George Weah. They've done nothing. They've put in place no economic policy to make that better. We are going through worse than what we went through under the past administration. So yes, we replaced the past administration, but what did we get in replacement? So we need to look at what we are replacing, the quality of what we are replacing with. We should be getting rid of people who have not done well and replacing them with people we know have a track record to change our lives, to change the trajectory, and to do better. So it doesn't help the situation if we're just replacing for the sake of replacement. It doesn't.
Ben Sanvee, you heard one of the reasons that some of us gravitated toward Musa ability when he challenged us. Say the Sarah Dapples of the world, the Peewees of the world, the Rabba Garguahs of the world, the Jerome Gibbons of the world. You sit on TV, you speak all your BB English, you got all your degree, your profession. You sitting over there, you're not coming home, and the change you are looking for, you're not here. When we appoint people, we bring people, then you say they're not qualified. Don't blame the folks, blame yourself. So when I heard that Rabba Garguah might be 2029 interested in running for office, when I heard Jerome Gibbons may be running, when I heard Sarah may be coming, people may be coming, numbers coming. Now I'm feeling good. Now we are really going to make some changes, right? But let's look at what happened the last time when Torgbean and these guys were young smart men were running in Basel. What happened? Ellis Cummings, Ure, Boykai, they took bags of money. They took bags of money to Basel and elected their stooges. They didn't want the smart people like Alexander Biede around, and they brought some of the folks that you wouldn't even imagine should be in the Congress, right? So why are we grumbling when we're not talking about people talking about ANC? ANC was talking about enough is enough. What happened to the $70,000 that disappeared? Nothing happened. They went and campaigned against Alexander Bierre in Bassa. They campaigned against him.
Yeah.
These are the folks when we say we need change, we need quality people. Victor Nami go to Maryland now and say you want to run. See, Babla Brown and those guys will gang up against you because they need somebody they can control. So how do we deal with that dichotomy? Us against us.
So one of the things that attracted me to what the CMC is doing is, are they changing the game? I think most of our politicians, all Georgia and talk. I think Musa has demonstrated through the CMC that he's a talk and do politician. I think that's what people are looking for. And we open with the ANC and Mr. Cummings. I thought that was one of the things that Mr. Cummings was going to do. Yes, I understand. I think it doesn't make sense in a normal political game to lay out your own resources. You understand me? Yeah, you want to use the national resources to better the country. But Mr. Cummings is independently wealthy. And so, I expected that he would begin to demonstrate some of the things he was talking about, but actually initiating some very impactful projects, not very costly, but demonstrate what he was capable of doing, given the opportunity. Do little things that at your capacity, and we said it here. We see what Musa is doing. Just I think 2 or so yellow machines he has in them. I know how much difference it's making. I believe Mr. Cummings could have brought in 2 or 3 or 4 machines. Maybe I'm being too presumptuous, but Mr. Cummings is from Maryland. I am from Maryland. He went to Harper. He saw what the people are living through. You put 2 or 3 yellow machines on that road, they will make a humongous impact. I thought he could have done that, but he didn't. And so politics really, politics in the Western world is different from politics in Liberia. Ballroom politics is not a Liberian thing, and so those are some of my frustration. And I hope he has learned this, but he's been through this twice, and we were talking about it. I don't want to take the discussion and reflect it on him, but that's what I was looking for, and this is what Musa is doing. Because I have advocated almost my entire life for improving the lot of our people, and I'm looking for that vessel that will help me do that. I had thought the CPP would be that vessel to help me do that. I didn't see that. I was underwhelmed, and so I'm hoping that what Musa has demonstrated, and I'm all in. I'm going to do the best I can, to help him and help the team. Help our people. This is the essence of my participation in the whole process. And I thought that's what we were going to do through the CPP. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So my young brothers that came on here, they sounded very energetic. I'm happy for that. I hope they will help to introduce a paradigm shift in the ANC. They need to recalibrate. If they must make an impact, I think they need to take their own advice. You can't do the same thing and expect different results.
Great. Sarah.
I want to push back on what you just said, Mr. Nangwe.
Please do.
We got to be very careful here. Some of the time, some of the things we do or say can be very deceiving, and it causes our people to make the wrong decisions. Because if you're telling us that, because Musa Belete is now fixing roads and he's doing a lot, so he can be a game changer, that doesn't fly. Because other people have done a lot of things, and then when they get to power, they do different things. Take the man by his integrity. But what he's doing is not bad. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but you're not going to sit here and convince me because he fixed you. Is it his personal money he's using to fix the roads?
Yes.
What? Yes. What is the?
I just told you. Yeah, you asked a question.
I didn't even have to answer that.
Yeah, you asked a question, and I tell you. But
I tell you this, just before Robert comes in, I tell you this, and I'm saying this without any equivocation, without any fear of being contradicted. Integrity alone in the Liberian political space is not enough to get you elected. It is not enough.
I agree.
Exactly. So I'm saying to you, it's going to be a combination of.
I do agree. I do agree.
It's going to be a
People
combination.
want to see what you can do, but at the same time, too, people use that very thing to deceive people to come to power and do something different.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've heard that so a lot of times. So y'all can preach your CMC cause all y'all want, but Musa Belete facing role is.
But one thing that is irreversible though is that the road he's facing in Nimba cannot be unfixed. That is a fact. And if he decides to duplicate throughout the 15 counties of Liberia, that cannot be undone. That is a fact. I'm saying to you, those tangibles that no, you're laughing. I'm very serious. I really thought Alex was going to do that. Look, like I was saying that this as an example, I was on NPR last and I would say, look, Alex went to Hapo. I am from Hapo. I'm from Barobo. There's a lot of poverty in that place. When the rainy season comes, the whole place comes. You're from River G. You understand what I'm talking about? Those women went to Alex and said, all we want machine to make farina. That's what they wanted. You think he couldn't afford that? I believe
I was telling the ANC mayor today how they're gonna rebrand it.
But these little impactful things, you know, they leave indelible imprint on the minds of our people.
But if you understand Liberian politics, you will know very well that just integrity alone can't cut the deal.
There's not enough.
You want to see what you can do.
So speaking of seeing what one can do, though, I think we have to be objective. I think the reason why a lot of people admire Amaya's representability, including me, right? I mean, it's not enough for me to join his.
I was saying the fun tonight, Raul, when we get out.
It's not enough for me to join his political party.
You're not ready yet.
Electronically.
We'll be having.
The people not ready yet. Nobody.
Electronic signature. You get press the electronic signature. You're gonna do nothing. Just press it.
I will be having. Thank you. I will be having discussions. You know, and the discussions come 2029 or before then will look at the ideas of the parties and the structure of the parties, right? Because again, like I've always said, I don't want to be part of another political club. But I think Musa Ability has exhibited some fine leadership, right? I think
your role finished now.
I think he's quiet a lot of his critics. A lot of people did not expect.
Robert, I am sorry. Just give me a second here. I'm sorry, Ms. Dapple. Let me tell you this: your candidate George Weah, he is on record by saying, "I didn't even do nothing for the poor, and they elected me." You know that he came to power on fake promises, and he never delivered.
That guy he said that. He doesn't mean he didn't do nothing for the people.
Anyway, Raul, please go ahead. Take over.
So I think objectively speaking, I think the President Weah's situation is different. But specifically speaking of Musa Ability, I think he's done what a lot of leaders are expected to do. He's talked a lot of big talk when he was not a lawmaker, and a lot of people did not believe in him. A lot of people did not think he had integrity. A lot of people did not believe they said a lot of things about him, right? I think since he has been given the opportunity to serve as a public figure, as a lawmaker, I think he's done an exceptional job in showing folks it doesn't matter sometimes what people's opinions are of you. What matters most is what you are able to prove and what you are able to do, your deliveries, right? Your deliverables when given the opportunity. So to answer the question, has Musa Ability delivered so far? Based on a lot of things, a lot of issues, a lot of reservations people had of him, I think the answer is a resounding yes. He has delivered. So those who support the CMC, I think, Sarah, and we can politically, dissect, whether or not Musa Ability could be a better leader than George Weah. We can have those conversations at the appropriate time, but we can also agree. I think, from our perspective, I think he's one of the best representatives in Congress. He hasn't led with his belly. I think his words has matched his actions, right? He's actually done things, whether it's his money or not. Remember, a lot of these lawmakers, right, have been in Congress longer than Musa Ability. They've been given taxpayer dollars to do the people's work, and they've converted. They've done for themselves. We haven't seen what they've done. Musa can tell a whole different story for the short period he's been there and said, listen, this is my record. And if he makes the case that based on what I've delivered as a representative, I believe I can be a great leader, I think he has the right to do that. This is what we want to talk about. I want leaders to run based on that record. Based on that record, not made up things that they thought they've done, not what we're seeing with the class reloader right now. They want to control a certain narrative when the narrative on the streets are actually being told a whole different story about those that policies are meant to impact. So Musa Ability has done well. Whether or not it's his own money, I think he's done well. And I think he can make a compelling case as to, based on what I've done, I can transform. And if given the opportunity, I think I can get this done. I can get that done. He would be right within his rights to do that.
Mr. Pewee, Honorable Pewee, we are talking about leadership. You know, and I said this a couple of years ago to the Cummings folks. Cummings, the American man said, let me just get my foot through the door.
Oh, Mr. German, 1 second, please. 10 seconds. You were talking about the Garguahs of the world, the Mr. Namwe of the world. Let me say this. Listen, I think one of these days I will contest, right? But that's not my focus right now. My focus right now is to invest in the private sector. I want to make sure that I have enough money, because I would not sell my belly. I would not sell my integrity for my stomach. That's what I want to do. I want to employ Liberians. I want to train Liberians. I want to open companies. I want to do that. But even with that, I think that people like us will have a very difficult time in getting elected in Liberia, because we are not part of the status quo. We are not part of that system. We are not part of that norm. The very people who don't want to change the country, who have had the most influence in our country, will use their influences to tell their people, these guys are not on your side. These boys don't even speak that dialect. We have an uphill battle to win election in our country. We will spend a lot of money. Like Alice Cummings. Look, Alice Cummings is an example of the difficulty great men and women face when trying to change a bad system. These guys will push back. They will push back. And so I think what we need to start doing now, if we seriously want to make an impact, we need to up our money. We need to up our money. We need to set the groundwork, because this will require a fight, not just by word of mouth, but you need to spend money, because these guys will do anything possible to stop people like myself, to stop people like yourself, because we are not part of the system. We are not part of the norm. We don't understand Liberian politics, and so we would not be part of those backdoor deals. I'm not interested in no backdoor deals. And you know what I would do? You know what I would do? I'm the guy who will come up and say, listen, I love Paul. Yes, Paul did collect that brown envelope. These guys don't like that. These guys don't like that. So the Liberian people know what's good for them, and they will see it, but they were not elected. We had a fine young gentleman who recently ran for the presidency, and Dr. Clarence Manuba. But yet, Liberians will say we need a leader like Abraham Traoré. But guess what? We have many right in Liberia. Why are we not electing them? Because we don't think it's their time. They need to wait a little bit more. They're too young. Get Joseph Boaga the chance. He got 40 years of experience. Look at what we find ourselves now. So there are great people who have ran. There will be great people who will express interest. But I can tell you right now, even the appointed positions, there will be people who will fight people of men and women of integrity for not being in a particular position, because they know it would not be business as usual. They know that.
Well, Mr. Pewee, we are talking about the Peewees of the world, the Doppos of the world, the Namwes of the world, the Garguah.
They might let Pewee. Pewee is a political genius. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, and he's a nephew.
He knows how to work his words. He knows how to play.
And he's a nephew. Uncle might just say, Pewee, like Musa was saying, you guys cannot sit in your luxury home in America and think change will happen. Y'all got to come here and put in the time, the sweat equity. He said, look what I did. He said, I raised my own finances, right? I said, if I did well in my district and I put some money here and make the life of the people better. I want to play on their consciences. They have to elect me because they can't look me in the face and say what you did for us not good. He said, and if it worked in my district, I think we can replicate this. This is the formula. He didn't just come and say, I want to be president like Cummings and everybody else. He said, let me start small. Once I become representative and prove myself, I can make a case for a freshman representative to be the leader of the rule of law caucus. That was a major coup in itself. Mr. Pewee, I think Musa ability is up to something here.
Oh yes, you have to set the standard. You want to navigate your way through the system. You have to begin the process of allowing, because leadership itself, you have to build the trust, the confidence of the colleagues of your followers, if you will, so that you set an example as to how to lead. So yes, he's not really doing that. He's eyeing something. He's headed for a very big transformation and process in the country. A lot of things going to happen. A lot of things going to play in. But so a lot of things also he's going to allow that to deploy necessary and useful surrogates to get some job done, deploy people of political mindset and the rest of it. But let me say this to Raul quickly. You don't have to be by the status quo to get elected. We've had a lot of folks, even there's a guy that came from the Philadelphia area, just got elected in the House. People who come from the US and fit into the system there. People get elected. The process is that you need to communicate, and Raul himself is an effective communicator, right? You have to have the kind of a communication mechanism that will penetrate the people, and they will listen. They'll get your reasoning, right? So they see you as that kind of a person. It's important to note here, and we don't have to rule that out, that cash is playing a major role now in Liberian politics across the world. At recent time, imagine the Kamala Harris campaign raised more than close to $1 billion alone from the time she was named moving on. So money do play a very pivotal role in campaign, and that is also widely manifested now back in Liberia. People have money to canvas and all of things. But yes, there are necessary voice of reasoning that can run through the system, and you canvas big time, and then you have yourself an election to win. But Mr. Bete started this process, and he's going through, and he's starting a national movement. And that movement is supposed to begin the process of initiating a kind of a wave that's going to shock the country. People are playing with it for now. People are not expecting this, but this is the wave that got the proclivity of going deep into the country and setting the stage for the transformational agenda that will whistle through the system and bring about total and genuine
confused
transformational leadership to the country.
I'm a little confused. I got a question for you, Pewee.
Mm-hmm.
What is he doing specifically that's going to shock the country? I mean, I understand you guys say he's building bridge in his district, right? He's building a bridge in his district. There are other lawmakers that are building schools in the district. So should we elect these lawmakers because they are doing these things in the district?
No, it's not basically that building. I mean, the mindset that we need this issue about the rule of law, the issue about accountability is not, and then couple with those things and other development issue. The message is what? The message is important, and the messenger and the group of surrogates that will go along those messages. That's what basically I'm talking about.
Okay, and then I heard you guys say that he's going to build. He's going to take the development to all 15 counties, right? Is that what you're saying? You guys said?
That's the plan, yes.
That's the plan.
Well, let me ask you this, sir. You don't think $100,000 each of the people they're giving each of them, you don't think that's good enough to do anything substantial in the district, or say in the constituency?
In all district or just his district?
No, each of these lawmakers.
Yeah, they're giving all the lawmakers $100,000 for constituency visit.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is that how much they give them?
Yes.
They started with 30,000, and this budget year they raised this budget year.
Are you serious?
Exactly. So we're saying Musa is, whether that's it or his own resources. Musa is showing us what is possible. You understand me? And I like he's taking us. A leader is supposed to take you beyond the horizon. where you cannot ordinarily. That's why you're the leader. That's why it means to lead, right? He is taking us beyond the horizon. He's showing us what is possible. If he can do this, why can't X, Y, and Z do that in the constituency too?
100,000. That's a lot of money to do.
It's a lot of money.
The people, listen, Sarah. If we they were interviewing some of the ladies in his district, right? And the lady said he had electrified our district with all these solar panels and all that other stuff everywhere. She said, in the interior here, 6 o'clock, we all going to bed. He said, but now I'm selling my cassava, I'm selling my corn, all the other people selling. We don't care what happened in Monrovia, we get our little money here. So, I mean, when you look at this and you say, you know what?
And this machine is giving them to...
That is a great improvement to the lives of the people.
Giving this machine to lawmakers to go in the district of lawmakers.
For some reason, politicians don't know. When you're doing something that impacts the lives of your voters, that is important. Directly, exactly. Directly.
And this is why we told the man, say, you know, if just imagine a comment has said, you know what? I got money, I got experience, I got know-how. Let me just get in the house. Okay? Look at Musa Bede Hawad. In a vote, he got what? 26 people to follow him, right? 26. If the CDC and the other people had got together, all he needed was 11 more to be Speaker of the House. Just imagine on his first try, he got 26. A Comey was on the other side, and he had like another 15. And all that. These are new people now. I'm talking about new folks. They will be able to control who wins the presidency in that country. Because if Musa gets 5 people in Grand Bazaar that he can support to win, and somebody gets 3, and they come together, you kick the bombs out. But because of, like you said, Jerome, then you're sitting in America, you're talking your BB boo, you're living in your mansion, you don't want to come, then when we get somebody, you say, the person ain't qualified, then why? Like you want everything free. You want the old river people say a flower base of ease.
Jamal Jala is already forecasting our funeral, Jerome.
Okay. Yeah, but you see, the thing you're doing, and I know Mr. Ability is listening right now. I know that
one thing
about the CMC. You know, someone called me and said,
Sarah, I'll send you the phone. Don't worry.
One thing about the CMC, Sarah, one thing about the CMC Senator Barra, he takes good care of his people.
I know.
When he guys go to Liberia, you see how Jeremy is shining that with his costume? Make sure Jeremy is driving one of his nice cars.
That's right.
Wow. These guys are well taken care of. But when we go there,
you gotta buy your own. You gotta buy your own. You gotta ride your own keke.
You gotta ride your own keke. Inhale your own dust.
But Robert, I think it is incumbent upon the few good guys in the House and in the Senate to rally around people like you when you decide to run, Sarah, when you decide to run, when Namwe decide to run. That is the way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here already. I will support you since you and I, we see eye to eye on many things. So when you get it now, I got support. And then Robert brings in another person that sounds and believe in the same thing. That's how you build coalition. That's how you build your base. But the powerful politicians in Monrovia, they are actually handpicking who they want to run in the district. And they put money behind that, but knowing the person cannot read or write. And all the person say, oh, my political leader told me to do this. My political leader told me to do this. I can't vote against my political leader. That's what the Monrovia politicians do. They carry bags of money. They go to the different counties. The Rawa Garguah want to run in district number 3 in Baza. No, my man, they may not live among you. Who among we want somebody that know like us, talk like us. But you're Gonga here, Gonga. Even though
I can't speak Baza too. It makes sense.
Yeah, they say well, Gonga been living here with all he understands our struggle. Even though he can't read, he can't write, he can't comprehend, but he one of us. Then they put in there, Gonga, hey, everybody. Then Gonga go where Gonga has no idea what's going on. Then they say, all they do is go there eat money. No, you decided, Robert. I mean, I've seen our own Cummings and other folks, they made sure that our boy Torgbean didn't get elected.
Basement door.
They put money and make sure that Torgbean wasn't going to be elected in that place.
Oh, I see why the man don't like. I see why he don't like certain people.
There you go. And then guess what? You
so
see
why beef with Billity?
Well, he wanted Billity to push him when everybody else let him down, and it looks like it didn't happen. Now then look at this.
Daniel they said Billity was part of the deal of letting him to not run. Don't sugar.
Daniel Chair was running also, right? And they came, the Monroe group got together too and said Daniel Chair more too sharp. They didn't want him in the Senate. So they made sure they crushed him. Daniel Chair won the election. Daniel Chair, they say he lost the election by a few votes. He was on his way to Monrovia to go and ask for a recount. And Mr. Kokoya was in Bassa certificating the winner, even though the election was not settled.
Yeah, but you see, man, I think people are always rather suffer as a number because here's my thing. I have too much big heart in a good way. I don't know. I'm not going to kiss nobody because I'm not just going to just make friends with people because I want them to support me. I'm not going to do that.
It will be difficult for you, Robert.
Yeah, I just
with me, a businessman.
You're not going to have me not speak the truth because now, if I do speak the truth, somehow you will not. They just don't support me. I don't know how to fake it, so I'm not going to be around people in Liberia. Yeah, I can coordinate. I can collaborate. We can sit and have serious conversations. But I'm not going to compromise who I am because I want political support. I don't know how to do that one. I don't.
So Robert,
ran long today just so we can propagate CMC tonight or what?
No, we got 8 minutes. We'll be going off. Robert, do you like talk now?
All right, let's talk a little bit about CD. Let's talk a little bit about CDC.
Robert, you like Taiwan way?
Oh yeah, I like Taiwan way. Yeah.
Okay, you think you can work with Taiwan way?
Absolutely, I can. Yeah, that's my buddy. But you see,
okay.
Ty is my buddy. But if you ask Ty will tell you that he and I have not always agreed. In fact, we have fiercely disagreed at one point where we had to have a conversation during one of my trips to Liberia. But he's a great young Liberian. I think he's done well. He's done well as a representative as well. So yeah,
well, you know, Taiwan ran first, he did not win. He stayed there in line the system, and then he won this time around. It's something
I can work with Taiwan, man. I can work with Taiwan. I can work with Amar Conan. I can work with even though I had serious disagreements with him, but I think Dylan is a guy we can sit and have serious conversations. We can disagree.
How many people are corrupt, my brother?
Huh?
I said someone already corrupted, the system corrupted, so not working with.
No, but I think there's some people, Sarah, where they're in a difficult space. Like for instance, I think Dylan is one of those. When you speak to Dylan, he's in a difficult space, and I can guarantee you there are things that Dylan really wants to say about this administration that he can't say because he helped got them elected. So, but you can have a conversation with him on certain issues where you can convince him why he should not support that, and logically he will consider that. So I can work with a person like that, and perhaps I can help change or perhaps get him back to his normal self. His self before he became the light that didn't work and all of that stuff. So I can work with him. There are other people I can work with, but then there are certain people I know they're rotting in the system. I don't care what you do, you cannot change them. Well, this is how they Ben Dylan. They will not change. That's who they are.
The reason I'm asking, and I hope they are listening or later on watch the show. Do you think it would be wise for the likes of Tao Wangwe to say, okay, Robert is running. It behooves me to do all I can to elect Robert because Robert complements my ideas and we can get somewhere. I will put everything, I will do all I can within my power since I'm in the system to elect him. Do you think he's at that level?
Yeah, he has influence. Yes, absolutely. He has influence, but it depends on where I'm running. he has influence. He can get on the radio and endorse and run campaigns. He has influence, but I think at times the difficulty happens if you're running in a particular district where you need people from that district to really be the voices of your campaign. This is the difficult part. So you can have Alex endorse me. He can come in and speak. But Alex is not from that district, and he does not have influence in that district.
But
So
when I'm
it's
talking
not
about
like
resources, we talk about resources now. Well, I'm from Basel, right? I don't have much influence in Nima, but I can put my resources behind somebody from Nima to make sure that it win because a win in Nima is one vote for me. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think he's at that level where he can say,
100%.
I'll put my resources behind Robert to help him, can help me?
Absolutely, I agree. But if I were to run in Basel, where I'm from, I can either run in Basel or Montserrat County. I was born in Montserrat County. So, but if I were to ever run in Grand Bassa, I know I would be crushed because I know I've said a lot of things about the so-called big voices in Nimba. I've said that Senator Yomi Kanga Lawrence, I believe that she's been one of the most useless lawmakers, and not used in terms of her results. She's been there for a very long time. The people at Grand Bassa have given her everything. I don't think she's giving back to them as much as they've given to her. And this is just the truth. Can I have a conversation with her? Can we talk? Of course, I'm open to it. Would she be willing to have a conversation with a guy like me? No. I am not going to mince my words. That's just who I am, Mr. Nagman. I am not going to mince my words. I'm not going to kiss your behind. This is the reason why I need to make sure that if I need to fly out of Liberia to the U.S., Germany, or anywhere, I can afford it. If I need to eat the biggest steak in the world, I can afford it. I am not going to put myself in a position, Mr. Gilman. Now, this is exactly what
last question, Robert.
where I am depending on someone to feed me. Because if people feeding you, you can't run your mouth against the people who feeding you.
That's correct. Okay, guys, we are coming to the end of our show.
Let me ask Robert one last question.
We got 3 minutes.
Will you be open to trucking? Because of the thing that made the people win in Liberia. Will you be open to trucking?
But even if you go to truck, you need the resources to truck people. That's what we say. We need resources. If you go to truck, if you go to truck people from Lofa to Basel, that $20,000-$40,000. You have that kind of money.
But Sarah, I'm open to getting my constituents to the voting to the poll, however necessary, legally. I'm open to that.
Well,
if that what they call trucking, then so be it.
I don't want to call trucking. I don't want to call trucking.
Listen, there's a number. Your 1 minute closing, man. Let's go.
No, I think I'm good. Thank you, Jerome. Great show tonight. Best to the fellow. Thank you all, Sarah, Robert, Sylvester left, and also Aliu Kiadi, who came on with Siddiqui, and thanks to our audience as well. Great show.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much for coming. You're closing.
Yeah, good show, great show. I just want to give you guys heads up. The Tomalin High Alumni Association will be having a conference in October in Delaware.
Too?
Yeah, I got it from Tomalin High.
You know what, Sarah? I'm sorry. Let me. Is Emma Styles still the president? All right.
We're having a donor conference, and we're going to be trying to raise a lot of funds to fix our school. So we're going to be using your platform to do some promotion. So I hope you guys and the CMC executives will allow us to, do our stuff on this platform.
I'm letting you know.
I agree.
But you got to pay for advertising.
Today was Torgbean High School Day. Everybody that came on today kid running from Torgbean High School or something. Yeah, Robert.
That's always a great show, even though I was vexed.
I'm
finished, even though I was vexed because I was in the back for a long time, but
we're taking it out tomorrow.
Robert, let's Sarah finish. I beg you.
I just wanted to say thanks for the show, and then my condolences to the Doe family. I pray that our Oman soul will rest in peace, and the family will be united. In this cause. It's not a cause for division. I know I heard about Zopena being a very divisive senator when it comes to the whole thing, but I pray that they all will unite and give the Oman a peaceful and respectful burial, and the county, will move forward. Thank you.
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to to my friend, my sister Silu, I'm very, very close to her and her family. I'm not close much to the other siblings, but family's in my prayers, man. But always a great show. Um, and someone asked me earlier today, have you listened to the and I will quote what my sister Mariah Yakula. They don't like that girl at all, man. She's not playing with that. I will quote what she
Please
said.
tell her I'm one of her big fans.
I would not call it. I would not call it the class reloaded. I would
Cash.
call it. I would
The
call it
cash.
the cash reloaded. And someone asked me, "Will you appear on if invited?" Oh, absolutely, I will appear on if invited. I'm
Wow.
not afraid of anyone. I know my stuff, so I would appear.
But they will
won't
not
send
even
the-
invite you. Don't
They
even
will not send the invitation. Will not come. It would not come.
They will not
So
come.
yes, but I have not listened to it. I know that they are bluffing with the views. They got 3,000 comments. They got this. They got
Baby,
that.
I'll
No
go
one
ask.
cares about all. No one cares about all that, man. But this is where the real conversation takes place. This
That's
is where we
correct.
speak truth to power, and people will listen. And this is closing up. I love it here.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow, same time. We'll
Good night,
close the
guys. Thank
argument
you.
here.
Station.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
God bless.
The cash reloaded.
Yeah.
that they said something that their government actually thinks is a lie to activate these powers. That sets off this effort to redo the intelligence assessment. And